Hello, what's going on, guys? What up, Alina? What's up, Emily, Tanner? Can you ask why I've had co-hosts lately? Um, Honestly, it's just been the mood or the vibe. I really prefer to be alone most of the time. I I think sometimes or most of it has been either just kind of hanging out with my buddies from the Unfuck America tour, or last night it was just kind of convenient because I was tired. Having someone else up on the panel to talk while I kind of took a back seat was nice. But yeah, how is everyone doing, guys? How we doing, chats? I think I finally have all of my windows where I want them to be. I think I finally have all this figured out, guys. Mazda and Subaru are leaving America. Let's see. 4-year-old citizen with cancer deported. I thought it was 2-year-old. Did I see Mr. Jones live at all yesterday? I did. I did. It was kind of, I was passing out, so I didn't catch all of it. But yeah, what did y'all think of Mr. Jones's live? Dealing with a haircut of my 6-year-old daughter. I just gave myself a haircut, baby. Truck drivers must speak English. What is he doing, bro? Small government, my fucking fat wiener. What's up, Marty? Parents deported and took children with them. Yeah. Definitely some things aren't adding up after Mr. Jones live. I agree, bro. What happened to Mishi? Traveler, I agree. Mishi got attacked. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get like 10, 20,000 likes on the screen. If you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Mishi said she's going to delete every account. I hope she doesn't. Damn. Yeah, Doge is fake as fuck for sure. Chat, you guys wonder why I'm so antisocial? Why I mind my own goddamn business? Because I've been streaming for like 6 years and I know how nasty this can get. That's why I'm so hesitant to make friends in this community. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Hello?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Well, today he signed an executive order. I'm not sure if you heard about it. You want me to explain it real quick?
Is it the truck driver speaking English?
Yep, it is. That one is my favorite. It's the best. It's gonna help the economy. He's an economic mastermind. Absolutely. I mean, mandating them to speak English. Who else would who else would think of that? That's just I have no words. That's gonna help inflation get down. It's gonna help gas prices.
Aren't we in a trucker
Just
shortage right now?
well, I'm not completely sure about that, but they gotta speak English.
Got it.
So yeah, that's basically gonna help the economy. He's an economic mastermind. He has the best economic policies ever to be thought of. He has concepts, basically, is what I'm saying.
Listen, man, I'm just gonna take your word for it.
There's no response. You got no rebuttal.
No, I mean, I give
I
in. You guys are you starting to seem base.
All right, man. I'm just playing. Have a good one.
Are you The trucking industry is experiencing a trucker shortage, while some sources indicate a slight easing in the shortage due to factors like the end of freight recession. The industry still faces significant challenges in finding and retaining drivers. We're probably going to need much fewer drivers here in the near future because of the tariffs. We're not going to have any goods to ship across the United States. Uh, we're just going to be like bare shelving it. Start stocking up now. I might buy a chicken or two. Hello?
Hey, I'm not opposition, but I wanted to tell you a real funny story real quick. A friend of mine's just posted she tried to order something on Temu and the shipping was $80. So in real time, we're seeing the effects of it. Have a good one.
Thank you. We also I ordered like a bunch of shirts on. It was like a Facebook ad that got me the other day. Yes, I still scroll Facebook sometimes. Don't fucking judge me. But these shirts were fucking sick. And I'm so excited for them. And now they're just stuck in Hong Kong because Hong Kong is not even delivering small parcels. They're just holding them all. So I'm just kind of fucked. What are you, 60? Facebook? I know. Charlie, thank you for the mustache. Show us the receipt. I mean, it's weird that you guys don't want to believe me on that one, but sure. Okay, so I ordered this on the 16th. I also want to show you the graphic tees that I got. Oh, so it's in mainland China. Still, we have movement. We have movement today, the 28th. Yeah, there it is. I don't know. Oh, what's up, Mr. Wheels? Are you a Trump
Hey,
supporter?
what's up? Huh?
Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not. I was going to say that I ordered some medication from Canada, and my medication's being held up in Canada right now.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, I know, and they have no idea when I'm gonna get
Oh, perfect.
it.
Perfect. I hope
Yeah,
are you gonna be okay
but
without it for a while? Is there something you can
it's
do?
weight loss medicine that helps me regulate my body weight. I'm in a wheelchair, and it's the only medication can help me with. And I can get it before, but because of Canada and the tariffs, I can't get it yet.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty much fucked right now.
damn, bro. I wish you luck. This is horrible. It's horrible.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it sucks right now, and I mean, not only that, I got some medication that I'm for epilepsy, and
Hmm.
some the manufacturing are trying to find a alternative way of getting my medication. So right now I'm just like I don't know what to do. We could have rely on both of those medications right now for me to live, to drive, and do work.
Damn.
Hmm.
Well, keep us
Well,
updated, man.
people,
I hope I
yeah,
hope you I hope you make it. I hope you make it for however long this holdup is.
yeah. For those who vote for Trump, fuck you. I really appreciate it. Fuck you.
Amen.
Sorry, I know
Amen.
it fucking irritates me, man.
Yeah.
So, all
We love you,
right,
Mr.
man.
Rose.
I'm gonna drop me.
All right. Can we get an amen in chat?
Yo, hey, I just wanted to clarify with the receipt comment. That wasn't at you. That was at someone in the chat who said just buy American. And I was like, yeah, go to the grocery store and buy a week's worth of your groceries and clothes, 100% American sourced and manufactured, and then show us the receipt. Just
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
clarify. That wasn't
Okay,
at
you're
you.
good. You're good. You're good. Okay.
But yeah, that's all. I won't
All
waste
right.
your time.
I appreciate you. Almond. Chat, tap the screen. We're almost at 20K. I guess we're still growing in viewership. Let's go, baby. Let's go. If you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Guys, I'm still thinking about that guest we had yesterday that seemed to know his way around the economy, but still couldn't accept the fact that tariffs are a tax on the importer, not the exporter. Like literally, I could just see like the neurons. I can just imagine the neurons firing in his brain and just like hitting this invisible wall. Like, nope, this man can't complete that one, like that thought is just not there. Yeah. Johnny was on fire today. Yeah. Johnny's always on fire. Guys, we might be turning on the YouTube phone number. Everybody on YouTube, do you have anyone on YouTube that wants to call in and debate? Mermaid also cooked? Of course she did. Of course she did. Hyperinflation coming. The YouTubers are the worst. If you guys want to fight a good fight, you guys are welcome to go follow me on YouTube. The link is in my bio in the link tree. There are tons of MAGA in the chat. I also only have 2 members, 2 paying subscribers over there. If you guys want to become one of my first subscribers, there's still only 2 people over there subscribed or as paying members, and I'm gonna be updating the emotes soon, but that's brand new. We just got that activated. YouTube is wild, guys. YouTube's fucking wild. I don't know what happened with Mishi. I might reach out to her. Hello?
Hello.
What's up, bro?
What's good?
What do you want to talk about today, dude?
Um, just like, why is the left in despise and despair?
Why are we in despise and despair?
Yeah.
Because Trump is doing a bunch of things in a bullish manner without a plan, seemingly, and hurting our economy and reshaping our governments
How's the
without
economy being
governing.
hurt?
In the next few weeks, we're about to see shelves be bare.
That's speculation, though, Pickles.
Do you guys just disregard any like incoming consequence for what Trump is doing, or?
Well, no, I heard that we were going to go into martial law on April 20th from the left, too. But, like, so 2 weeks from now, so what? Do I come back up here in 2 weeks and show Walmart?
No, what we can do, I can show you a news article that tracks like shipments and stuff, and and the downward trend as to like all of the shipments coming from China and other places where, like Walmart and all these other places, stock their goods. They're going to be running out of inventory soon. Like, think about the time that tariffs started and now, and having running out of inventory, like having your back
I know they're
inventory
on a
run out.
90-day hold.
I'm sorry?
I know that 99% of these tariffs are on a 90-day hold.
Yeah, there's still 10% tariffs around the world, and then we have like 250% tariffs on China right now, I believe. I haven't even kept track. It's either 150 or 250. Nobody can buy, nobody can restock their shelves right now.
Well, I mean, I just went to the grocery store this morning and everything's normal.
Okay, so again, this is just logic. This isn't just like us catastrophizing it. This is logic. We have 250% tariffs. It's going to be 250% harder to buy inventory as a store.
If you buy from China, yeah.
How many items do you think inside of Walmart are made from China?
I don't really shop. I shop at a New Seasons Market and Whole Foods. And
I'm not asking you
they work
where
with
you
a lot
shop.
of local farms out here.
Where do you think America shops? I'm not asking you.
Target, Walmart. There's plenty of options for Americans to shop.
So
everywhere.
Both Target and Walmart, what percentage do you think of their goods is Chinese made?
I don't know, but you got Sprouts right down the street. You got Aldi.
Where do you think Sprouts gets their stuff, bro?
I don't know.
Hello, we get produce. We get produce from China.
You know,
we do get produce from China.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But don't act like China's the only place we get produce from.
Okay, like
because
the comments
we
are
went
saying
into a trade war
90 to 95% of the stuff that we buy is either directly from China or in part assembled from China.
Yeah, were we not in a trade war with China in Trump's first term?
Yeah, we did 3 rounds of trade war, and we saw
inflation not really go up with Trump.
Not really go up. We saw a bunch of farmers completely go out of business.
Nowhere compared to Biden's term. Absolutely not.
So the tariffs
we saw gas actually come down.
The tariffs that Trump implemented were nowhere near 200% tariffs. You know what that did to our farmers?
Do you know what they were? I know they weren't 245%.
Like 25%, 15%.
Okay, so when I went to the store, I didn't see a 25% increase. Actually, when I started seeing increases is during Biden's term, whether that's from C-19 or Ukraine or all that. But Trump's first term with tariffs, Biden held 77% of the tariffs that Trump imposed.
Okay, that doesn't help your case. We still, like the steel and the lumber, those tariffs, we did see, like, did you go around buying a bunch of houses in the last 4 years? Because those, like, the price of housing...
I actually work in building houses.
So you should know that the price of goods like lumber skyrocketed during that time, right?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
That's what I'm telling you.
Dude, I can
show you 84 lumber in Beaumont, California, off the I-10 East, and we can compare prices. They didn't skyrocket. Sure, they went up like normal inflation, but they didn't skyrocket.
Holy shit! How many people were becoming members? Thank you all so much.
They actually... they went up significantly more in Biden's term than Trump's first term, but they never really skyrocketed.
All right,
and they're not skyrocketing.
I'm not going to split hairs on you on whether like the tariffs on lumber went up. Did they not?
So I can tell you, I just bought lumber today, Tongue and Groove lumber. It's with shipping. That's $300. It's about $1.90 a foot, compared to maybe 5-6 years ago. I don't know. It's gone up a little bit, maybe from 165 to 190. But that's standard for inflation. I don't know. Maybe we're sourcing our lumber from the U.S. 84 lumber. I mean,
All right, I'm gonna show
Right
you a
off the
graph.
I-10 freeway.
The generic lumber price. Source Bloomberg and Wells Fargo Securities. See 2020? It dips during COVID, and then it fucking skyrockets, bro. What are you smoking?
Yeah, no, I said it went significantly up during Biden's term compared to Trump's first term. Is that not what I said?
Yeah, you see this? This is the tariffs. You see this first spike? The first spike is the tariffs, and then
Wait,
the dip is
2021.
yeah. The first
Okay.
spike is the tariffs, and then 2020 is the dip when the market
2018, I
crashed,
start to
and
see
then
a
we see
major
it just
dip.
climbing like a motherfucker.
Well, 2018, I start to see a major dip back to probably 2017 and 2016 prices. And then COVID, C-19 hit in late 2020. And then I see a major dip. And then I see, over the next Biden administration,
Dog,
I saw shit go skyrocket.
give it up. Give it up. It skyrocketed, just like I said.
Yeah, but we're talking about right now in 2025, and you're cutting off the last 3 years?
I'm sorry I
For
don't have a
what
map for
reason?
the last 3 years, but that was actually addressing my point.
You
I'm not
kind of
talking
proved
about.
my point. Yeah, lumber did skyrocket much more with Biden than it did Trump, and Trump
And
had tariffs.
I'm talking about the tariffs. Yeah.
Yeah, and those tariffs. Bring that graph back up. Okay. So you said tariffs started with Trump, 2016. You see it going up, then you see it going down, still with Trump 2 years later, back to normal prices. And then you see it skyrocket with Biden. Did Biden add extra tariffs on lumber?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He did. Okay, so he added extra tariffs on lumber.
Yeah. So in what you were saying
Okay.
is that tariffs didn't really
I'm a
affect
little
the price of
confused.
lumber, and I'm saying they will, and they did, and they affect the price of housing and all other things. And what I'm illustrating to you is that all of these other stores that have to buy their stuff now, they have to re-up their supplies. They are going to be struggling. Their shelves are going to be barren. We have multiple outlets saying this themselves, saying that their shelves are going to be barren here in a few weeks.
I mean, if you really want to talk about lumber, like I said, if you know what tongue and groove is, just got a bid on that.
I know what tongue and groove is. This does not matter.
Okay, here's the issue. Trump just said he's going to open up the forest so we can produce our own lumber here. So I think that's great.
Fucking
We're going to get
horrible.
lumber even cheaper.
It's horrible.
Great.
Dude, have you
Why?
seen the map of how much lumber we have in the United States versus like Canada? And how many of them are national parks? He's opening up us cutting down and
Everywhere's
logging
a
national parks.
dude.
I'm sorry?
Like, do you live you live in Texas, but have you ever been to the South where there's acres and acres and millions of acres of woods?
Yeah, why?
You think trees grow back?
Yeah, but are you just saying it's no big deal? We'll cut down trees, they grow back?
I mean, that's what Canada's doing. That's what people do when they want to build stuff. You want to bring back down the housing prices?
Cutting into national parks?
Do you want to bring down housing prices? The one way you can do that is bring
What he's
down
doing is
material
he's
costs.
making it to where we can cut down our own trees and avoid having an increase from the tariffs when all he has to do is not tariff Canada. That's
So
all he has to
you
do.
rather have Canada chop down
Canada
all
has
their
better
trees?
wood.
I mean, better wood?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. They have better lumber. Yes. Because of the way in the climate. Like the way that the trees grow in the climate, it makes the wood more solid. Yes.
How long do you want to talk about lumber for?
I really don't want to talk about it at all. I want to talk about what I was talking about.
Okay.
Retailers are saying shelves will be empty. Walmart,
Yeah,
Target,
and a lot
Home
of
Depot
liberals
have
said a
warned the store
bunch of
shelves.
stuff.
Hold on. Walmart, Target, and Home Depot have warned that store shelves may soon be empty due to potential supply chain disruptions caused by tariff policies. These retailers have communicated these concerns to President Trump, expressing fears the impact on tariffs about their ability to import goods and keep shelves stocked. Walmart, Target warning massive price hikes, empty shelves. This is from 1 day ago.
And that's great. And you can hear a lot of things, but me personally, I'm not going to worry about it until I actually see it. What I did see was no supply chain. It was during C-19 where I couldn't buy toilet paper. So, I don't think we should fearmonger. We've been through this before, Probably
No,
10
I'm
times
saying
as worse.
this is self-inflicted. All right, we're talking about environmental stuff because the whole world shut down, and Trump is doing things
Oh,
with tariffs.
C-19 was 100% self-inflicted. We didn't have to close down.
Okay,
We didn't have to stop global trade. We didn't have to take
we
all this
had
stuff.
no say so. Every other country with a brain shut down. We didn't.
We
Whether we
didn't.
shut down or
I
not, we
think
were going to see inflation, and we saw the least inflation out of every country on earth.
And the only reason we saw the least amount of inflation compared to all the other countries is because everyone trades in our dollar.
Okay, or because Biden did a lot of stuff to give us a soft landing,
No,
such as
because
extra stimulus checks. He also funded the.
and that's what caused inflation.
No, it's not.
Yeah, handing out free money to everyone and telling don't go back to work, stay in home and just collect a check and don't be
$1,200.
productive.
How long do you think they held on to that $1,200 and didn't go back to work, bro?
Dude, I personally know people who were making more sitting down and not working by just collecting a check from stimulus than wanting to go back to work. And I'm sure a lot of
Okay,
people here
then if
know
you make
that.
$1,200, if $1,200 is more than you make on your average salary, then that's your fault.
I don't think I
that's
think it
not-
was much. I think it was more than that.
No, it's
Because
not.
it was the stimulus checks, but it was also just federal, like when
The
you get
PPP
paid
loans that
for
Trump gave out?
not having to work. What's that called?
The PPP loans?
No,
And
it's
unemployment,
like where you
welfare?
can make an excuse, like saying you can't be at work because I don't know your health or something for months and months on end. Like I personally know people who took advantage of that.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but all of the blue states who shut down and took
Yeah,
safety
unemployment check.
precautions,
Yeah.
all of the people who took safety precautions and didn't go around and become super spreaders, their economies opened up and saw inflation decrease at a faster rate.
You said economies that opened up faster saw inflation decrease at a faster rate.
No, economies that shut down, all of the blue states saw less inflation than all of the red states who thought that COVID was no big deal.
I heard Florida had the best economy during COVID. 'Cause they
Florida still
stayed
has the
open.
highest inflation in the nation.
Why is everyone moving there?
I don't know.
Everyone wants to be in Florida. They got a 13% population growth. Everyone's leaving California. Everyone's leaving Oregon. Everyone's leaving
Not
New York.
everybody. California has only seen like less than a 1% population leave.
I
So
think
that's not true.
I think it was 2.9 decrease. It's kind of embarrassing because Florida has a 13% increase.
Okay.
That's probably why Florida won by like 25% this year because everyone's leaving California.
Okay.
And you know a lot of Californians are going to Texas.
Okay. We're still talking about whether or not it was a smart idea to like mask, do social distancing, and shut down.
No, it wasn't. No.
It was. Every state that partook in those actions had a faster bounce back from COVID.
I think we can use Florida as a prime example.
Yeah, I know, and I can show you that they have the highest inflation in the nation.
And for what? Why? Probably because everyone's moving there and wants a house there. Skyrocketing competition for house prices. But what are you talking about? Inflation? Groceries?
Their state's inflation rate last time I checked was like 6% still, while the rest of the nation is pretty soothed around 3%.
Can we see it?
Here's a map of what I'm talking about. I already scribbled all over it. But you see all those blue states on the left and the right? Those states shut down. And you see Florida and all these other states that are red, they had higher inflation. This was halfway recovered from the pandemic. I'll also just show you which state in the U.S. has the worst inflation. Florida, 3.9 now. Several other states have experiencing it, including Tennessee, Virginia, and South Carolina. So population growth is putting pressure on housing, just like you said, but labor shortages. So Florida passed a bill called SB 1718, which basically made it a felony to employ somebody who was undocumented, and it did a huge mass migration, or it caused a bunch of people to migrate out of the state, causing labor shortages and all sorts of the like.
So, I mean, me personally, I can think that, yeah, like you said, everyone wanting to move to Florida, 13% increase could increase competition for housing. So, how much of that housing is, accumulating for that inflation? Because if it's mostly housing costs that are rising and nothing else, that makes perfect sense. It's because people want to live there. That's why California home prices, everyone wants to live in San Diego because it's sunny and 75 year round, and everyone wants to live there. So that's why housing prices are out of control. No one wants to live in the middle of nowhere in where, let's just say, Kansas. They want to be at the beach, or they want to live in a place that's nice, or they want to live in a place like Texas where it's ran by conservatives.
No,
And
they
not,
just want to move to Texas because they have low taxes.
well, yeah, that's great too. Like Donald Trump wants to cut taxes, like for a lot of people.
No, he doesn't.
Well, look up h.con.res.14. That's his tax bill.
This is just a budget.
Yeah, I can start giving you different things in that budget bill, like no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no
There's no
tax on
budget on that.
security.
Okay, I'll show you something better. You want to talk about the $4.5 trillion budget he made and then the TCJA extension? You see how the TCJA extension barely fits inside that $4.5 trillion, and you think all of this other stuff is going to fit inside of it as well? You're wrong. And if we're talking about Doge making that increase for us, we've only seen like $11 billion saved from Doge. We need like a few trillion more.
Well, that's your perspective because I've seen much more on my side from where I'm getting my sources on how much Doge is saved. So it's probably somewhere in the middle. But that no tax on overtime, all that stuff, that's all going to be paid with tariffs. So
So we're
instead
going to
of
keep the tariffs up.
yeah, so this is it. This is my perspective. Let's, as American citizens, have all the other countries pay for our taxes. Yeah, sure, there might be a little
Wait,
inflation.
you think other countries pay the tariffs?
They have to, yeah, and they get passed on to us, but it doesn't.
No, the countries at no point will have to pay any of the tariffs.
Okay, so if we have a 75% tax on imports from Europe, they got to pay 75% to do business here in America.
No. We have to pay 75% extra to buy from Europe.
Okay, so here it is. So let's say it's $1. So we charge them 75% tariff, 75 cents, which gets passed on to us. Yeah, I get that. But here's the deal. We're taking revenue from these countries, so we don't have to pay taxes. So me personally, I'd rather have Trump cut federal income tax as a whole for people making under $200,000 a year to have a little bit higher grocery bills.
Let me ask you something.
Now we don't got to be taxed.
Let me ask you something. You make, let's pretend you make 100 grand.
Okay.
Let's say you take 5 grand a year and you save it. That's being generous. And then let's say you pay, I don't know, 24 grand a year on rent. That leaves you 70 grand a year on all of your expenses, everything that you buy.
Well, how much is taxed?
I don't know. Let's think about not paying any income tax at all.
Yeah.
Let's say
That'd
every
be
other
great.
dollar that you take, you spend on goods and services. And you're looking at Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs on China being 250%.
I don't get to buy from China.
You're paying an enormous amount of that money in taxes. It's just not called income tax. And you guys are buying into it as if it's a good deal. It's a fucking horrible deal, dude.
The whole point is to deter the U.S. Americans from buying anything from China.
I know.
You act like there's other places. Like, if I want to go eat, there's like 60 United States farms that I could go to right now that raise cattle here where I
Yeah.
don't got to pay a 245%
Where do you think they buy?
tariff.
Where do you think they buy their fertilizer?
Fertilizer, okay.
Where do
It's
you think they
fertilizer.
buy? Where do you think they
I
buy
don't know.
their?
Don't cows shit fertilizer?
I'm talking about other like farms that grow vegetables.
Bro, I can grow vegetables in my backyard if I wanted to. Like I've grown
You're
watermelon
just being
in my
naive now.
backyard.
We're talking about markets. We're not talking about you.
I'm just saying China isn't the only option. Like we are trying to deter China, and you got people on your side rooting for China. Like
No,
they're good
I'm
people.
rooting for doing something a little bit more pragmatic than shutting down our own economy so that Trump can give you some weird form of a tax break when it's really a tax hike. It's a huge tax hike.
Well, we saw it, like I said again, we saw a Trump tariff in 2016, and we actually saw inflation come down.
That's dumb. No, we did not. We have all the data from his
So
tariffs
we
in
saw
2016.
inflation
We
stay
have
healthy.
we
The
have we
moment
saw
we saw inflation
147,000.
go up the ass is with Biden.
No, inflation lags, and what we saw was supply
I
chains
agree.
shutting down, and supply chains are shutting down because of this and struggling, and that's what's going to cause inflation again.
Yeah, inflation lags, but at the same time, are you going to blame Trump for now what's going on? No, you're not going to say inflation lags then. But here's my issue. Trump had tariffs in 2016.
Not blanket
And
tariffs,
we
not
did not
200%
see
tariffs.
inflation
These are not the same.
until C-19 with Biden and then the Ukraine war.
We have data on those exact tariffs, and we have the data that shows that we lost 147,000 jobs and we lost GDP growth because of those tariffs.
Right, from
And that helped.
C-19, yeah.
No, from those tariffs, period.
Okay,
We
and
can
we
see
probably
what
gained a lot of
manufacturing jobs
jobs
were affected by that.
In all honesty, I think tariffs protect American jobs.
Yeah, I know they don't. We even have projections from these tariffs showing that even just 25% tariffs on China, we're going to lose us 360,000 jobs. That was the Tax Foundation's estimate. Like
Well,
there's no data that forecasts tariffs increasing jobs.
When I took microeconomics last year, from a liberal professor, even he would admit that tariffs help protect American jobs. That's just a fact.
They protect a very acute set of jobs, but they can also create a huge struggle in the market. So like blanket or targeted tariffs, say on lumber, will protect lumber jobs here in the United States. Steel tariffs will protect steel jobs in the United States. But guess what? You're going to lose jobs in building houses. You're going to lose jobs somewhere else. There's collateral damage always.
I agree. So if you want to protect a certain industry, let's say like what Trump just did by allowing people in the northeast of our country to go fish and open up 1,000 acres of, I don't know, 10,000 acres of water in the Atlantic Ocean for us to get to work. So let's say we put a tariff on Chinese goods coming in. So here's the logic. Am I going to buy something from China that's 3 times as expensive and probably less quality than what I could buy it for in America now that we raise the prices because of the tariffs? No.
I think
people are going to go buy American goods because now they're less expensive than the Chinese goods.
No.
Which is going to produce more jobs for us here in America rather than buying from China.
No.
That's why 20, 30 years ago, everyone said they need to buy in the USA, but somehow we've gone far away from that.
Well, somehow it's because the market's led us there. It's not because somebody just forgot to make jobs here. It's because the market made sense for us to oversee those jobs.
No, it's because slave labor and we're greedy and we're going to buy whatever's cheapest and hopefully gets a job done. But a lot of stuff in China is not very good quality.
Right, chill out. That's not even true. That is a weird racist trope that you guys say that China doesn't make good quality. Where do iPhones get made?
Shein, Temu, you're telling me that's
they have low quality goods.
Shit?
They have low quality goods, but they also have high quality goods. Where do you think all of the luxury brands get their shit made?
I know they can't be fully produced in China. I know that
Where do you think China gets their? Where do you think iPhone gets their phones made, bro? Where do you think Samsung gets their phones made?
I don't know. Is it solely China? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's probably like 100%.
It's like China, India, and South Korea.
It's 100% done in China.
No, it's China, India, and South Korea probably.
Okay, India and South Korea. I'm cool with India and South Korea.
Okay, well, you just condemned slave labor. Do you think India has great working conditions?
Dude, India can't even breathe air correctly.
Okay. So you're still cool with us outsourcing. This doesn't resolve us onshoring any sort of
India's not
manufacturing
bending
jobs,
us
right?
over on the trade table.
Well, you're still talking about manufacturing jobs, bringing them back here, and that doesn't resolve that, does it?
If China could be more like India, like more fair and quit taking advantage of everyone around the world, I'd be happy to do more business
Do
with
you mean like
China.
Trump is doing? Trump's literally talking about taking over entire fucking countries. Greenland?
I don't know. What I've heard from Trump is he said he's had a lot of great conversations with leaders around the world, like the leader of Italy or the leader of Taiwan or the leader of Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia.
Have you heard about him talking about the leader to the leader of Denmark and saying that it was a chilling call, that he's dead serious about taking Greenland?
Yeah, I do think we should take Greenland.
Oh my god, bro.
It's for our best and their best interest.
You know what? We could say that about a million countries we could take over, but we're in 2025. We're not an
Are we
imperialist
taking over
colonizing
any
country
other
anymore.
country?
Yeah, Panama.
Yeah, Panama. We built Panama.
Oh my
dude.
god, bro.
We invested it, like we built it there, and now somehow they think it's theirs.
Hey, you know what? There's other countries that say they built the United States. They could say that too and take us over.
How did they physically build the United States? Because we physically
didn't we
built and
kidnap a
invested
certain
money in
race of
Panama.
people to come fucking work for us as slaves?
You said what?
Didn't we kidnap like a whole race of people?
No, we didn't kidnap. They sold themselves into slavery.
Oh my god, bro.
Literally, I mean that's what happened.
Do you think all of them were just sold to us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Bro,
how
all right.
business. I
All
thought
right, bro.
what's it called? The transatlantic trade.
Oh my god.
Like it's literally what happened 400 years ago. Yeah, it's bad, but a lot of bad shit happened on Earth. I'm not gonna be filled.
You're
guilty
minimizing
about
it, dude. Yeah, but a lot of bad shit happened on Earth.
Yeah, be happy that we live in a much better time.
Dude, bro. Matt, how do you not feel weird saying
Dude,
these
when
types of
Africans
things?
come here to America, they like
Matt,
I don't know.
how do you not feel
Like
weird?
real Africans, they love America. So.
All right, Matt,
Okay.
I gotta let you go. This is not okay. Sarah, thank you so much for the $40 a kick. Please tell Matt to get fucked. Absolutely. Absolutely. Chat, if you're friendly, please hop out of my box. Yeah. It's in the best interest of USA to take the world by force. Like, what? These people live amongst us, chat. How did they convince all of these people to be so inhumane and disgusting? Yellow? John
Sorry
Denver?
about that, Pickles. I was trying to withdraw because you said to. I just wanted to answer that one thing about the Panama and Greenland thing.
I'll let you say
Panama
something
has
quick.
heavy tariffs on Russia, so us taking that over would only benefit Russia, and Greenland is used for NATO to help secure Canada and Europe from Russia. So why would we take both of those over? The only reason is to please Putin.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard that
bottom
before.
line. Anyways, you can kick me. I was trying to withdraw. Sorry.
Thanks, bro. Yellow?
If tariffs are so bad, why are all the tariffs we're putting on the other countries have tariffs on us?
They have very targeted small tariffs. For example, the EU's average tariff on us.
300% on milk, cheese, and eggs.
Yeah, Justin, how many times have we had to pay that tariff?
We used to be the tariff king, and that's when we were the richest.
Okay, Justin, again, have we ever
We were
has
known as
has
the
Canadian
tariff king,
has
and I was the
Canada
richest
ever had
farmer
to
in
pay that tariff?
America.
Justin, has Canada ever had to pay that tariff on dairy? It's only when it hits a certain threshold. It's never hit the threshold where they had to pay that tariff.
They should.
It's never hit the threshold. It only hits that threshold at a certain volume of trade, and it never has. And plus, they don't want our milk. It has all sorts of hormones in it. They don't want our milk.
Okay. So we should have a one-sided trade just because they don't want our shit?
No, they've never
We don't want their
they've
shit
never
then.
had to implement that tariff. So you're crying over spilled milk.
How does having higher tariffs
They
than
don't have a
us
tariff
benefit
that's even in
our
effect.
economy?
That tariff is not even affecting the trade.
A 300%
It's
tariff is not affecting
it is.
trade.
It's never been implemented. Yes, it's only at a certain quota, and it's never been implemented.
That's no.
Yes, that's true.
I gave you straight facts, and now you're making up shit to make sense.
Okay, do you want me to pull up a source for this?
Let me guess, NBC?
So you think that NBC just tells straight up lies? Or are you conditioned to ignore the news and listen to Trump only?
No, I do my own research. I'm not an idiot.
All right, here's factcheck.org for you. Trump's misleading claim on Canada dairy
Was that
tariffs.
NBC?
This is factcheck.org. To support his claim, his plans to increase tariffs, he said that farmers have 250 to 270% tariff on dairy products exported to Canada. That's misleading. These rates are high on the books, but they will only be charged if U.S. exports exceed predetermined tariff rate quotas, which the dairy exports don't come close to meeting.
Okay,
you see how
so
he
it's
lied to you?
one country out of the many countries
Can you name one country that has blanket tariffs on us? Oh, wait.
that has blanket tariffs.
Yeah.
What do you mean by blanket tariffs?
Meaning, out of all things that they trade with us, they put a tariff on 100% of those things.
It's not that they have 100%. It's that even 1% of tariffs on us. Why should they even have 1% of tariffs on us?
Dog,
Why
because
should they
their
tariff
markets
us? Why
depend
should
on
they
it.
tariff us and we can't tariff them?
You think they're tariffing us. They're tariffing their own citizens.
By tariffing the U.S., this country of U.S., they're putting tariffs on themselves, is what you're saying.
Yes.
You're so stupid. Bye, bro.
I'm stupid? Guys, the reason countries have tariffs on things is because just like Canada, they have people like dairy farmers who, if the market were volatile, those dairy farmers wouldn't have jobs. And smaller countries especially have very delicate markets. So yes, they have tiny, like little tariffs that protect their markets because maybe that's a big portion of their economy. That's why they do that. And it means that when they have a tariff up, their own citizens pay that tariff, not us. Not us. Trump has taught these people, it's like kind of his like thing. He like cons people, he scams people. So he says a lot of misleading things to convince you what he's doing is right. When in reality, it's not true. And it's embarrassing when you actually get fact checked on it. I agree. That guy had every right to run. Yellow.
If Trump sucks, your mom swallows.
Dang, you got me.
2 facts, right?
Sure, man. Do you want to debate or?
It's 4 years, bro. It's 4 years. Just deal with it. I mean, come on.
Wait, isn't he running in 2028 again?
I highly doubt that. He can't.
Would you vote for him if he did?
No.
You sure?
Positive. Would you?
Absolutely not.
Oh, well, at least we agree on something.
There's a lot of people in chat who would, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't see anybody saying that.
Yeah, he's selling 2028 hats on his website right now.
Really?
Yeah, he
Hold
is.
on, pull that up. Pull that up. Hold on, I'm talking to my secretary in the back. Pull that up.
Okay. Here's the trumpstore.com. Trump 2028.
$50? I can get that shit straight from China for $5. What the fuck? Wait, is that his website? What does it say? Is it the DonaldJTrump.com home? Is that what you're looking at?
TrumpStore.com.
Trump Store. Oh, that, yeah, there it is.
Trump Hotels, Trump.com, Trump Golf, Trump International Beauty. Yeah, this is his stuff. This is his line of shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He's trolling, right? I think it's just trolling.
No,
Is
he
it
spoke
trolling?
about it publicly that he's not joking anymore. And,
Yeah,
and
but
Steve Bannon is on record doing an interview saying that they are exploring avenues for him to run a second term.
exploring avenues, but I mean, if
They're seriously looking
Constitution is
into
law-
it and
if
looking into
Constitution
bullish.
is law of the land, then he can't.
Yeah, teach that to Trump. Tell Trump that. He doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution.
He's
done
got to go
executive-
through so many avenues.
Dude, he's writing executive orders that go directly against the Constitution. Do you think he cares about the Constitution?
Okay, why is there 3 branches of government if you think
You
that
tell
he's gonna
me, why
control
is he calling?
everything?
He's calling to impeach every judge who's stopping him in his tracks when he does something unconstitutional.
Not every judge, just the corrupt ones.
Just the corrupt ones. How are we determining who's corrupt? Just by who he says is corrupt?
I mean, if they're going blatantly against his executive orders to get illegal immigrants that have committed heinous crimes, I mean, that's kind of like a conflict of interest, don't you think? Like, what?
No.
Why would you not want these people out?
Can
of the
you name
country?
an immigrant that was proven to commit a heinous crime in the court of law?
I mean, there's tons. Have you just seen the MSNBC newscast today that when they broadcast their show, they had all of the signs in front of the White House showing every illegal immigrant that had something on their record? Rape of a child, molestation of a child, all this other
Okay,
things.
75% of the people he sent to CCOT, one of the world's worst prisons, had no criminal record in either country.
Okay, but they showed up here illegally, which is a crime.
Yeah, but we're gonna put them in prison without due process, without trial.
I don't think they deserve due process if they come here illegally either. I
Hey,
mean,
that's
I'm
against
with
the
that.
Constitution. So I'm a patriot. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe everyone deserves due process.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, I do too, but
No, you
I mean,
don't.
you don't think that any of them? You don't think that any of them had due process?
No, they didn't.
That's not factual.
I'm sorry this is happening to you, but that's why he's in trouble with the courts.
He's in trouble with the courts because those are democratically elected judges.
No, actually, the
Not all
one
of
that
them.
told him to
Not
bring
all
people
of them.
back.
Hold on. Not all of them, but most of them are.
Do you think all Democrats are just doing the like being activists, or are they just holding him accountable like we've always done for the last 200 years?
I think they're just doing what they can so they get elected going forward. Because the more illegals they have
most
here,
of these
that
judges are
they
lifetime
don't
appointments.
need, that they don't need U.S. citizenship to like proof to vote. That's going to get them back in office. I
nobody-
think they're just trying to do whatever they can.
Dog. Federal judges are like lifetime appointments.
Okay, so what's
Same
your
thing with
point?
Supreme Court justices. 9-0, 3 of which he appointed came against him on the Abrego Garcia case. Do you think they're
But he
being
also doesn't have to
activists?
listen to the Supreme Court.
So you're telling me we have checks and balances, and now you're telling me he doesn't have to listen to the checks and balances?
I mean, according to the law, he does not have to listen to the Supreme
So-
Court. Is a suggestion.
So you now
know
you don't
this,
think we
yes?
have checks and balances?
You know this, yes?
No, that's untrue.
Come on. That
No,
is
that's
not
absolutely
untrue.
untrue.
Are you serious? That is
Why
not
do you
untrue.
think? So who does the checks and balances? What do you think checks and balances are here?
You have the executive branch, judicial branch.
And who runs the judicial
He's the
branch?
executive, judicial. Judicial is going to be going through like the courts now. There are plenty of successful judges that have blocked him on many things. You're saying that none of the judges have blocked him on anything. Like, what do you mean?
What are you talking? The Supreme
That's why
Court
they're
is the
fighting
highest
in
court of the
court.
land. They of course are the people. They're the last stop, the final defense to tell Trump yes or no on what his actions, if they're legal or not.
Okay, but we're talking about the other federal judges as well. Those are in place to check him as well.
And he's coming out and saying that he shouldn't have to do that. In fact, they introduced a bill in Congress recently that said that he can circumvent that federal judges can't do injunctions like they have been.
I think there's certain stipulations because yes, they are. I think they are superseding the presidential power. I
We
think
don't
I
have
feel
a
like some of
king.
the judges. I feel like some of the judges are trying to be president. They're
Dude,
trying to use presidential
Trump is
power,
trying to
but
be
they
a
don't have that.
dictator. We don't. The
How is he
president,
trying to be a dictator?
because he can't govern. What we usually do is we go through Congress and we legislate and we vote on things and laws that shape the country. Instead, Trump just writes executive order after executive order to try to make sure that just one person gets to shape all of the laws in this country, and that's not how we want it.
When was the last time we were given a choice to vote on letting illegal immigrants stay here once they cross the border? When was the last
Trump
time
is
you got to vote on
perpetuating
that?
that?
When was the last time you got to vote on that as a
We
citizen?
we
that
got
can
to
vote?
vote on representatives that shaped those laws.
Okay, so you yourself have not voted on anything dealing with the sort.
No, we live in a representative democracy.
I mean, your representative sucks then. It's still an issue.
Do you know that
'cause
Trump
obviously
still
you have an issue with it.
perpetuates catch and release? Are you still doing that?
Say
Did he
again?
lie to you about how bad that was? He's still doing it?
What are you talking? Am I
He's
still doing it? What are you talking
He's
about?
still doing catch and release. Trump.
He is not doing anything. That
Yes, he
was
is.
a policy from the last administration.
No, it's a policy from even before his first administration.
Yeah, a Democratic one. Obama, and then
So
back to Biden.
You understand that it wasn't some evil Democratic thing. It's been the same way since 1952. We've been fucking letting people come in and claim asylum.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem because all they can do is claim asylum and not actually tell the truth. And then they're in here selling drugs, killing people, raping people.
It's not true.
I mean, it is true.
How many people do you think have been raped and murdered in the last year?
Do I think? I mean, one is too many.
No, it's not.
What? One is not too many.
No,
Okay.
because you're holding people to a standard that's
That
higher.
is insane.
You're holding people to a standard that's higher than our own. So if you look at it,
Oh, so like you saying that all Republicans are MAGA, or like everybody that voted for Trump is bad, is not holding a whole population to a certain
Trump
standard?
himself has more grape allegations
That's
than there were
wild. The
murders.
double standard is crazy.
No, the double standard is y'all. So you guys
What?
don't understand that there are more
The
grape.
gaslighting is real, bro.
Let me talk. Trump has more sexual allegations, sexual abuse allegations himself or in his White House than there were murders last year by undocumented migrants.
And Joe Biden touches kids and sniffs their hair, so I don't know what
You mean people take pictures of him giving kids hugs?
you don't think that him touching kids without permission from their parents, or I don't know, any guidance from anybody?
You
and
mean his
like,
granddaughter?
like, oh, it's so cool because he's just old. Like, it's fine.
Trump brags about walking in on women in changing rooms.
He brags about so he currently brags about that. You're saying like brags is
He
like
did it on
president.
Howard Stern because he owned the place. He says
Okay,
that he
how long
does it
ago
because
was
he
that?
owns the
Was
place.
that like the 90s? Maybe
No,
the
I
early
think it was later. I
2000s?
think it was in 2000s.
Yeah, I said 90s or early 2000s. Either way, you're taking stuff from 20, 30 years ago and perpetuating it like it's still happening. Like you're trying to get something up on, like, I don't care what he did in the past, but what he's doing right now is benefiting the country as a whole.
No, it's not.
If you think that one grape case is not enough, then you're a psychopath. That is
Hey,
disgusting.
you
How
voted a
can you say that?
grapist into office.
Do
What are
you
you
have
talking about?
kids? You're the one that
You
said
voted a
one,
grapist
you said
into
one
office.
grape case is not enough.
Yes,
so
let
you're
me
trying
make
to
my
say
case.
maybe we should grape more people, and then maybe okay, you will have
No,
some
this
sympathy.
is my case. Last year, 17,000 murders took place out of a population of 350 million. And then last year, we had 12 million undocumented
Actually,
migrants.
way more than that.
Well, no, we had 12 million undocumented migrants commit 29 murders. That is the safest country on earth. If there was a country of 12 million people that only had 29 murders, that is the safest country on earth by far. That crime rate is 0.62 out of 100,000. Or I'm sorry, it's 0.24 out of 100,000. That's the per capita. When the United States murder rate is 6.4 on average. So 6.4 versus 0.24. Which is a safer population of people, the undocumented migrants or the U.S. citizens?
I mean, so just so you can't see the undocumented crimes that's not happening, you believe that it's not happening.
All crimes are documented when they happen.
No, they're not. No, they are not.
Most crimes
I
are documented when they
promise-
happen. Do you think murders just go undocumented because we don't find who did it?
A lot of times, there's a lot of times that murders aren't even known. Like people just go missing. They can't say that they're murdered if they're missing.
That's not
That
a
doesn't-
large. That's not a large percent of them, and about half.
Doesn't matter if it's a large or not. You're saying this stuff like it needs
Half
to
of
be
crimes
a
go.
significant amount.
Half of the murders go unsolved. So if we just double the representation of the undocumented migrants committing those murders in the stats, then we would say that maybe 60 people were unalived by undocumented migrants, and that's still an insanely low per capita of crime rate.
It's not even just about the danger. I didn't even say anything about the danger of having illegal immigrants here. You brought that part up.
You said they're
But
coming here and
there's
raping and killing people. Yes, you did.
I didn't say all of them. And I
That is
definitely said that just because you don't notice the things that are just because they're not submitted to the FBI's database or whatever doesn't mean that it's not happening.
listen, someone raided your vibe and you're being kicked. Big shout out to Mariana. Thank you so much. Was it Mariana? Hold on. Marion C, thank you so much for the kick. Marion, Marianne. Get some W Marions in the chat. Guys, if you're friendly, please hop out of the box. We have 2,000 people here. Tap the screen. If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. Let's get on to our next guest. Give me a sec, guys.
What's up, brother man?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I like that he is doing what he said he was gonna do when he was running for office.
Yeah, lower grocery prices on day one.
Yeah. If we're gonna act like he's gonna be changing the economy, especially prices on groceries and goods in 100 days in office, then you clearly haven't taken an economics class. That's not how
No,
quickly
you're
you can
saying
change
he's completing his
prices.
promises, and yeah, anybody who believed him is stupid.
Well, no, anyone who believed him is still believing in him, hopefully, because he's served 100 days out of his almost 1,400 days total in the 4 years that he'll be serving as president. So, if you want to take his 100 days as the rest of his presidency for the next over 3 7/8 years, then I guess, sure,
He said
we
day
can do
one
that.
multiple times, and he also said that if Kamala got into office, we'd see the stock market take a dive, which is happening now. We would see gas prices go up, which isn't happening yet, but this is going to happen in about 2 or 3 weeks. We have all sorts of the major retailers also saying that their shelves are going to be barren in the next coming weeks because of his tariffs, because of his weird, like nobody can even comprehend why he's doing this trade war
So,
with China. It doesn't make any
that's
sense.
I got you. Yeah, it's super convenient for big box stores and these corporations to say that our shelves are going to be barren. That definitely incentivizes Americans to go out and buy. It's like that's like a flash sale essentially saying like, listen, if you don't get it now, you're not going to be able to get it because our shelves are going to be a wasteland.
They're
Like
trying
that.
to reach out to Trump and say this, bro. This only makes sense because we can track the shipments coming from China as well. They're being held out on the ports and the ships, collecting duties and fees for being stuck in the water and not being able to be taken on shore because of the tariffs.
There is no space issue currently at the ports. Like there's not an overstock of cargo ships at the ports right now. There's no strikes occurring of workers at the ports not unloading the shipping crates of goods. That's not happening. I work in logistics. It's not the case. If you're saying that there's a reduction in supplies coming from overseas to the United States, like yes, but we're not currently facing any good shortages in the United States that are coming from overseas. If anything, we're facing goods shortages domestically, such as eggs and produce, but not anything based on his international tariffs.
I'm looking at it right now. We
And
have
prices
3 to
are
5 day delays right now, mostly on the East Coast. But
that's
yeah,
that's
but
less than typical rates though.
yeah, I know.
The typical delay on goods coming into the port is 7 to 10 days, and that's almost half.
So what I'm talking about is there are some people who maybe automatically re-upped on their goods and those goods are sitting outside on ports, but we also have people not able to even make purchases. They're not even going to be making orders of goods manufactured in China, and that's
Oh
what
wait, RJ Ocor's here. Oh man, he's gonna love this. Is he one of your buddies?
I know, RJ.
Yeah, he messaged me inviting me to come onto his panel to have a civil debate, and immediately started saying that I was crashing out when I was questioning his logic. It was
Okay.
and then asked me to speak face to face and turn my camera on. And once I did, one of his moderators immediately turned it off. But I just want to point that out as far as like the good faith supporters that you have. But let's get back on the topic.
So
So
I have multiple uh, news. Sorry, I have multiple publishings saying all of these huge retailers are saying that they're warning that there's going to be massive price hikes and empty shelves soon, and you're saying this is just a marketing strategy.
yes, yes,
It's pretty wild. You don't think this just doesn't just like
it's
make sense?
I mean, it's the same. It's the same as saying that Trump intentionally bombed the stock market for his buddies to buy low and make a bunch of money. That's essentially
He walked into the White House cartel like holding Charles Schwab's hand, saying that he just made him billions of dollars. What do you mean? That's like saying that he admitted to it.
so. Who are these CEOs that you're here? Let's look at Yahoo Finance. The CEOs of Walmart and Target are warning that the store shelves could be empty. Is Walmart a publicly traded company or is it private?
They're public, aren't they?
They are public, yeah. And so these individuals that were giving warnings, do you think they benefited or took a loss in the downturn of the market? Was it a flash sale for them to buy up stock, or did they hold on to their money because they didn't have the finances to do so?
I don't know. I bet a lot of them also
I'm
rushed
gonna
things
bet.
over and had a bunch of just like Apple and
I'm gonna
Samsung did. They had a bunch of planes rush a bunch of things over before the tariffs hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet that they benefited pretty largely on
I think they
the
would benefit
recent
even
stock market
more
downturn.
with public pressure towards Trump to let these tariffs go because they're going to make them run out of business. They're going to make goods extremely expensive and rare with the same supply, the same demand and lower supply. Prices are going to skyrocket along with the tariffs.
But so far we haven't seen that, correct?
So you don't think that 200+% tariffs are going to create a supply and demand shift?
If they are permanently implemented, then yes, but they have not been.
But
So
them purchasing them right now, are they going to be affected by those tariffs?
purchasing what right now?
The goods that fill their shelves.
Are they tariffed currently?
China, yes.
Like that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, are these companies that are trying to stock their shelves like Walmart and Target, are they purchasing directly from China? Or do they have partnerships with companies like Apple that stock their shelves? Because and at the end of the day, Apple's responsible for inventory. Walmart doesn't have a plant in China that is making
Okay, you
iPhones
think that
specifically for
Apple is not 90% of things, I would argue, maybe 95% of all things you see in Walmart is made in China.
No, that's not the conversation we're having. I'm saying you were referring to stocking their shelves with products. Walmart is just a wholesaler of products that they get from other, like Walmart doesn't have like products that they specifically make. It's just they stock the shelves with other companies' products.
Yeah, I know.
So right, you're asking if they're going to be hurting by purchasing these products, but they don't purchase directly from China. They have partnerships with companies such as Apple, such as Samsung, and Apple and Samsung are the ones that are responsible for inventory.
Yeah, so the warehouses that ship to Walmart warehouse and then
Yeah,
Walmart warehouse ships to Walmart's.
yeah.
Yes, that supply chain is about to be broken down. I don't know where it starts. Probably at the whatever their suppliers, whatever brand names they are supplied with. Those people, yes, those distribution centers are going to be struggling, and in turn, Walmart's going to be struggling. I don't see how this is. We need to go through all this, but yes, this is reality.
No, it's not. It's not reality because it's not happening yet. The price of the iPhone has not changed. The price of AirPods has not changed. The price of all of these goods that you're referring to have not gone up in price.
So you think that
what I'm
tariffs will
talking
have a
about.
0% change on our goods, or do you don't think it's going to be delayed a few months?
I think that these tariffs that you're referring to are not going to be implemented in the way that you think they are going to be implemented, and the prices of these goods are not going to skyrocket. Like this is a scare tactic that is being spread like crazy, like wildfire, to basically tell people like you will not be able to afford anything with Trump in office. And in reality, we've seen the price. Let's just look at the
How does
iPhone
this make
price.
any sense? How are you doing these mental gymnastics saying that the prices are
I'm
not going to
not.
increase?
I'm not. I'm doing factual. I'm doing factual
You're just
argumentation.
saying things are scare tactics. I feel like this all
Can
makes
you
sense. It's
can
very
you can you
sound.
you have the computer, you have the access to the computer. If you could do me a favor, I know you're not supposed to do my research for me, but can you just look up the cost of the iPhone over the last 10 years and see what the starting point was and what the current iPhone is going for, and if it's increased in price or it's stayed
It's
consistent?
increased about $200 every few years.
Okay, and is that over the inflationary accounting for inflation, or is that just $200 based on inflationary increases?
I would say this is not a great reflection of how this works because over the course of the last 10, 15
My whole
years,
my whole point, really quick, the whole reason I brought that up is because my whole point is the prices of goods have always gone up, especially with technology, unless you're getting from like a cheap third party company because they can, and the demand is always there. So you're talking about these tariffs increasing prices of goods when the goods have always gone up, and whether we want to blame the
no, we're going to
tariffs
see
or demand.
skyrocketing. It's not just going to be a gradual raise. It's going to
Okay,
skyrocket.
got it. Well, have they skyrocketed, or are you just saying they're going
They're
to?
warning that
Because
it's going to skyrocket here in a few weeks.
yeah, we also were warned about Y2K, and that like there's things that are warned.
All right,
There's
dude,
warnings
you
all.
cannot say Y2K in
Bro,
standard like regular economics 101 is the
you're
same
throwing
thing.
hypotheticals out, dude.
These are not
You're throwing
hypotheticals.
hypotheticals.
They're literally looking at their inventory and talking to their suppliers and going, "Hey, we're going to be out of product soon, or you're going to start about to start have to be buying the 200% tariff product."
Yeah, and they're not gonna do that. It's not gonna
They're
happen.
not going to do what?
They're gonna come to an agreement, man. They're gonna come to a
Who
deal. That's
is?
how the United States and China. It's not sustainable for either country.
China has not even started talking to them.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do. China came out and said it.
They said what? What
They
did they
said
say
that they haven't
exactly?
even begun talks with the United States.
About the decrease in tariffs?
Yes.
Why?
They said that he needs to drop all unilateral tariffs.
Why have they not had the discussion yet, though? I'm asking you.
Because you're a fucking idiot to think that you could trust a trade deal made with Trump, especially after he did the USMCA with China and Mexico, and he went back on it day one in office.
China hasn't had the discussion with the United States yet because
No.
there is no, there is no scarcity of goods currently. Like, do you understand how much inventory they have on
They've
hand?
had hundreds of thousands of people laid off so far. No, you're just
Who
making this
has?
to be no big deal.
Who has?
China.
Has had hundreds of thousands of employees in their factories laid off?
Yes.
Can you provide the source for that, please? That's not true. Asking for a source is not a pivot, by the way, chat. Sorry. I don't know who needs it.
China shrugs off threat of U.S. to economy, says it has tools to protect jobs. Trump's tariffs leave China's neighborhoods. It's April 17th. This was.
It's not there, man. I promise. I've looked into it.
No. Trade war, tariffs full blown crisis already.
You can't take out hundreds of thousands and then just say laid off.
No, I did hear this.
I know, but
trade
you might
deals.
have heard it, but so did I. I've heard a
Dude,
lot of things.
Stop muddying the water. Let me find it.
You're good, man. No, I'm not. I'm just going. We're talking in real time. That's all.
$12,000 tons of pork. I heard that before. Millions of Chinese workers. Oof. And blow to economy.
While you're looking at it, chat, you get so mad when you have someone come up and like prove your host wrong when they make a claim and can't provide a source. Then you go ad hom. It's wild.
Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese goods are threatening to obliterate its access to the world's biggest economy, with Goldman Sachs Group estimating that 20 million people or so, or about 3% of the labor force, may be exposed to U.S.-bound exports Full
That's
economic
not layoff.
divorce. That's not layoff. You're right. 2,000 companies, 30% a year. China
Chat,
layoff workers.
Chat, please keep going, bro. It's entertaining.
Trump China tariffs set to unleash supply jolts. 20 hours ago, supply shock into shelves higher. Oof. Bloomberg's even saying the same thing.
I haven't shown sources for what? I didn't make the claim. What?
I want to read this.
Okay. Quit laughing, just wait. I unfortunately don't have all day. Hey brother, I just got to the gym, but I'd like to continue this conversation for sure. You've been like cool. You haven't been abrasive or crashed out, and so if you'd be open to it, definitely would like to have another conversation.
Sure, bro. Take it
Okay.
easy.
You too, man. Have a good one.
Chat, tap the screen. If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. We have 2,100 people in here. Let's fucking go, chat. If anybody knows where I can find a source on Chinese layoffs, I did hear about this week. I also want to say sorry about this. You still want to see the source? It's on CNBC. Oh, I'm going to stop searching for it. Let's get to the next debate, guys. Where is my guest window, chat? Where is it? I need another monitor, chat. Someone get me a monitor. Reuters, April 7th. Yellow.
What's good, Pickle?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I just wanted to let you know about that. I found one source on the layoffs. It's globalpayroll.org. It's called Handling Mass Layoffs in China's Manufacturing Sector. That might be a good article to read right there. I don't know when it was published, but
Handling mass layoffs in China's manufacturing sector. Ooh. Because there's no date on it. You're right.
no, there's no date. So I had just found that. You could drop me down though.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Yellow, what's up, Joshi?
Hey, so I just wanted to ask, well, it's not really asking a question, but so with the tour and everything, I feel like I'm not talking about you specifically, but you guys are telling Z to step down and stuff, but I don't feel like that's enough, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like you need to get the main issue people were talking about, they were talking about in that live, is that there are not enough black people, specifically black women, in the live.
Okay.
So I think you guys need to ask more black women to join. You guys need to ask Peyton back, and specifically Dean and Parker need to apologize to him. That was really rude. Because he was the only one who stuck up for black people.
I think Peyton is problematic, and I don't think anybody wants to work alongside him.
Why?
For obvious reasons.
I'm just asking what obvious reasons.
Did you see that Peyton withheld information on who didn't get to pay their own fare, like pay their own way, or who wasn't reimbursed for hotel and plane tickets? Peyton didn't want to disclose that to Parker because he wanted to perpetuate the harm or hardships they were facing, so that he can continue complaining about it.
He was complaining about the Z? situation or something else?
No, he's talking about the creators had to pay their own way. And Dean
What
and Parker
creator?
wanted to reimburse those creators, and Peyton immediately got defensive, didn't want to tell Parker or Dean what was going on or who it was, and he just called them asshole and didn't want to disclose
Well, because
that.
they were being
And
assholes.
it turns out that most of the things in the information that Peyton had was not true, and the only creator that had to pay their own way was actually me.
When you choose debating Charlie Kirk over racism and standing up for black people, that's an asshole move.
I don't think so. I think that crushing an entire event because of somebody associated with it
It's not someone associated with it. It's the head of the event.
Yeah, but
She
the
is
event
the
was
event.
not shaped in in racism. It was us. We were the
Yet-
face of the event.
You guys were the face of the event. She is the owner. She is the owner of the Unfuck America tour. And you guys are calling it microaggressions, blah, blah. It was pure racism, like pure coat black racism. You all knew, I'm not saying specifically, I'm talking general again, specifically knew about the stuff she said.
I didn't.
That's why I said specifically, not you. I said in general.
Okay.
You guys knew about this. And
I don't-
instead
I
of
don't-
saying anything, you waited until after the tour. You're all posting videos from the tour, and you'll talk about it in lives, but you're not going to post videos responding to the racism.
I already did.
I'm talking in general.
All right. Do you want to debate, or do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just telling you should add more black women specifically to the Unfuck
I don't see us
America
adding
tour.
Peyton, but I have no problem with adding more people of color to the tour.
I didn't say people of color. I said black women.
We'll add some more black women for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Chat, if you're a friendly or you have criticisms about the Unfuck America tour, please hop out of the box. I'm looking for debates only today, guys. Yellow.
Hey, man, how's it going?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Couple things. So, I would say mainly his policies on immigration. I definitely liked a lot. With specifically his way of expanding the southern border to not only get more people in, but also pushing the illegals that are currently in the country out. Especially considering with the election and the use of like not requiring IDs to vote. I didn't really understand that a lot.
It's a non-issue, if you ask me.
Yeah.
How many people were caught voting that were non-citizens?
I'm not exactly too sure on like the specific number of it.
You never thought to Google that?
No, I just seen that it was happening.
Did you know the last election how many were here in Texas?
I don't know Texas, no.
4. So you want to stop 4 people in the state of Texas from illegally voting, but in the meantime, you're going to stop 68 million people from being able to legally vote with this new law they're trying to implement. Their main focus is voter suppression. That's what they're doing. And they're convincing you that this is an actual issue when it's not.
I mean, I know it might sound stupid, but I think it's 4 too many. Honestly, I don't think it should be happening at all.
That's dumb. That's
seriously.
That is silly. You're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, bro.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is, but it is my opinion. I know it's not going to change, but yeah, I think it's a really big issue when it comes to that because
4 votes are not going to change anybody. That's the smallest issue I could possibly think of. If it was never addressed, you would never have been affected. Period.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Yeah. if you want to go my next point, if you want.
Yeah, immigration. Immigration is also a non-issue. The way Trump is handling it is causing lots of collateral damage. We're now seeing that we have multiple like children, small children, people with cancer, 2-year-olds, 4-year-olds being deported with their parents, parents that are split fighting for custody or petitioning the courts to not deport their children, and Trump is doing it anyway. We also have 75% of the people that were sent to CCOT without any sort of criminal background or conviction whatsoever, and they also did not see any due process. So in the meantime, he's also convincing half of the public that due process is optional in America, and that's directly against our Constitution, and he's creating a population of people antithetical to the laws of this country.
I think that's a very valid point, actually. I think it makes a lot of sense. If I could expand on that a little bit. I think the act of I know what he's doing right now, it may not be great, but I think him doing it in the first place is a good thing. Him trying to do the right thing and get out people that should not be in this country. He is doing a lot of collateral damage to people who should be in this country, but I think that the art of him doing it is a good thing and something to be recognized. Whereas with Kamala Harris and her policies, especially what was going on when she was currently vice president, I think was too much of a red flag to me that I don't think it could be fixed.
Did you know that
But
Kamala and Biden deported more people month by month than Trump did, to the tune of 20,000? And they didn't have any 2-year-olds or innocent people going to a prison made for terrorists?
yes, I was aware of that.
So why do we need this? The way that Trump is doing it, he's also decreasing tourism, which is hurting our economy. We're going to see 11% dip in tourism because of the way Trump is implementing laws and having disregard for human rights, civil rights. We have multiple countries doing travel warnings on the United States. We are now the enemy in regards to all of our allies that we had just 100 days ago. We are now the bad guys on the world stage. I don't think it's worth it at all, not considering that there's no actual thing you can point to that these immigrants did that is in like a net negative.
Yeah, I would agree with you for the most part on that. It's just like at the time when I was voting, just I had a lot of distrust in Kamala Harris just based on how like how bad it was is what I was saying. So that's really what I would say for immigration. Especially because a lot of my family comes from immigration. My like the past practically 4 generations of my family have been through immigration
Bro,
into the United States. And actually my aunt who is from Mexico, she actually could not get into the country because a lot of people were cutting in line and getting in front of her, and she was
that's not a
actually unable
thing.
to get into the country.
It's not a thing, bro.
What do you mean it's not a thing?
There's no line.
It's a metaphorical line, but she was having trouble getting into the country because of illegal immigration.
That's not a thing.
You keep saying that.
That's
It's
it-
my
wh- did, Can you tell me what program is affected by illegal immigration that is backing up legal migration? Which program is doing that?
it's not a program, it's the act of people not going through the actual process of filling out, documents and stuff to get into the country. That's what I'm saying.
I know. So that's why I'm saying what you're saying is not a thing. Nobody had to stay outside of the United States for a longer period of time because of the amount of immigration that took place. It's a lottery system, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why my aunt would lie to me about that. But I mean, this what she was. I'm just saying what she was saying. That's all.
You
Like
have
I'm
anything
18.
else that you like about Trump?
Yeah, actually, I would say his devotion to our country is extremely. I would say it's actually pretty inspiring. Especially with the fact that he's been shot at multiple times and has not quit. Being tried in court and still going. I think it's pretty admirable the things that he's done and
I
what he's
think it's
been through.
disgusting, like the way he's treated these criminal cases. He's done nothing but raise doubts in the eyes of MAGA and caused concern about all of our legal systems. And basically, you either believe that we have a functioning federal government or criminal system, or like FBI, CIA, DOJ, or you think that Trump's the only person to fix it. And this is how authoritarian leaders come to power, is being that um, he's the only person who can fix these things, and creating doubt in the legitimacy of these systems. And his first 4 years, he tweeted something like 300 plus times, calling for distrust in the government. And we have a bunch of weird radicalized people now who will not believe anything that our government says and only believe him. And I think that's by design. There's nothing in any of his court cases that show me that there was lawfare or show me that he was in any way innocent in any of them. And nobody has been able to come up and substantiate that. They only just blindly believe what he says and ignore all of the details.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is disgusting is, regardless of what he did, like taking him to court during his presidency election, I do not agree with that at all.
He ran for 4 years before his election. That is not a thing. Who does that?
No, I'm saying like when E. Jean Carroll like tried him during the election, like that timing was really off. And I'm saying like she could have done it literally like for years, and she never did it. That's what
This
I'm
is
saying.
what happened. E. Jean Carroll released a book after her parents died. She
Yes,
finally
I'm
addressed.
I'm aware of the book. Yes,
And it was released in when?
I believe late 90s.
No, it was 2019. She released the book in 2019.
Yeah, it happened
and then, as sitting president, Trump, a high school girl, sat around and tweeted 40 times in one night, calling her horseface, not the chosen one, not my type, and calling her a liar. And then she started receiving death threats and all sorts of publicity that she didn't need or want. And she took him to court to sue him because he was lying about her. And in order to continue suing her, and I'm sorry, in order for her to successfully sue him, she had to prove in civil court that he was liable for sexually assaulting her. And that's what she did. That this wasn't just like some coincidence. This wasn't just some thing in an election year. I think that people should be able to pursue their assaulters no matter what, especially if they're running for president. And it was proven that he did it. The whole jury, 7-0, said that he was likely to have done it.
Yes, and I agree with the verdict. I agree that he was guilty. Yes.
Liable.
I'm not saying he didn't do it. What I'm saying is she definitely could have done it at a later time, because I think when you're running for president, I think I disagree with you on that. I think if you're a world leader running for a very important position, I think you should stay out of stuff like that until it's over.
Bro, absolutely not.
But
I think that when someone runs for a position like that, you need to speak up. Like, hey, this guy's not good. His morals are bad. And it turns out they are. It turns out that just about everything that he does using executive order is extremely, like, morally questionable, and like bending and breaking the laws constantly. This is what Trump is. This is who he is as a person. It speaks volumes.
I don't care who he is as a person, though. Character is irrelevant when it comes to politics.
That's not true.
Jimmy Carter was
in a room alone.
Jimmy Carter was an amazing person, but was a horrible president. So you can't judge someone based on their character.
No, I'm saying that somebody in a room alone, given the decision to do something for your constituents or for the greater good, or do something for yourself, Trump will do something for himself. And that's what that proved. And it still stands true today.
I mean, doing something for yourself isn't necessarily a bad thing, though. Either president or not president.
I'm saying he's inherently narcissistic and selfish, and his actions every day with the laws he makes and the actions he takes show that. That is the kind of person. Look at the grasp of power of him trying to censor certain schools and take control of what they teach and how they perform their duties at like Harvard and Columbia University. It's straight up a sign of fascism, and it's something his dictator friends have told him to do, I'm sure. But somebody who had a fucking moral compass would not be doing this. Somebody who deported an innocent man to one of the world's worst prisons, CCOT, would have hesitance in doing this. Trump doesn't. He doesn't give a flying fuck. That is why character is important.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's a difference between like emotional character and like political character, if you know what I mean. Like when you're talking to world leaders and stuff like that, like how you act in front of them as well, I think is very important. And I think recently with him and Vance with Zelensky, I think they handled that extremely well. And I think it goes to
With
like how
Zelensky?
yes.
No. They're stepping on a man's head while he's drowning. His country's being overran, and we promised him that we would help defend them if they gave up their nuclear weapons. And now we're going back on it, and we are now the bad guys. According to the whole West and the developed world, we are fucking the bad guys. We are Russia 2.0. And you guys are cheering him on.
I just think you have to be authoritative. I really do. Not like dictator policies, but like a lot of the times, like we were being walked over. I literally saw a video in China of kids like drawing pictures, making fun of America when Biden was president, and that's also kind of what I was saying earlier about like not
There's
being respected.
there's a Pew Research poll showing that every single developed nation on Earth had a higher approval rating for Biden than Trump by far, besides a few authoritarian countries, i.e. Hungary, which his best friend Viktor Orban runs, is an authoritarian dictator over there, or Bukele. All of his friends are dictators, and he's just taking their playbook and implementing them here, and you are one of the people falling for it. Just like their countries have people that buy into their authoritative power in their politics, you're one of those people who buy into Trump's.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I buy into it absolutely because I think it is I think it's a good thing for our country. Being friends with someone like Putin or Xi Jinping, I do not think it's a bad thing. We were friends with Stalin in World War II, knowing he was a bad guy. So I think even though I think keeping our relationship with these people, I think is a good thing. It means they're not gonna fight us.
No, we are now enemies with the good guys. That's what that means. That means we're going to be taking over countries like Greenland and distancing ourselves from NATO. Russia, who literally only has a $145 billion military budget, is what we traded for the whole West, who has a much higher budget than that and more presence on the world stage and does more good, allows their constituents to like vote to elect their leaders, as opposed to Russia and El Salvador and Hungary. They don't get to vote on their leaders anymore.
Yeah, and obviously I'm not saying Trump should be a dictator. That's
Well,
ridiculous.
that's what I'm telling you. That's what he's doing. He's following their playbook on doing that. That's what Trump is doing by like one of the big tenets of fascism is silencing colleges and hurting lower higher education. So Trump's doing by suing these colleges, suppressing free speech. He is suing news stations and ending free speech journalism as we know it, kicking people out of the Oval Office that he doesn't like, certain journalists, harassing them with the FCC. That's what Trump is doing, and you're cheering it on because he's conditioned you for the last 8 years that there's this thing called fake media.
It's more than fake media. It really is. And I know what you're saying, and I've seen a lot of MAGA supporters who are truly are like the stuff that they do is crazy. And I get what you're saying. I really do get what you're saying. But all I'm saying is fake media is not as bad as he says it is. Correct. I agree with you. But I think the fact that misinformation can be spread, and especially with the amount
Trump
of
spreads more
technology,
misinformation than anybody alive on Earth. And for Trump to be in charge of what is misinformation and what's not is extremely dangerous.
that's politics. That's how propaganda works. But just spreading misinformation for the sake of spreading it is I don't agree with that.
That's what Trump
Political
does.
misinformation.
Trump should
Political
not be the
misinformation.
arbiter of what's real and what's not, man. That is so dangerous. That is in the authoritarian playbook. That's how Viktor Orban came in control. That's how Putin controls his constituents. He lies to them every day using Russian state media. Same with Bukele. He bribes and pays certain gangs to continue and perpetuate gang violence so that he can continue having his special wartime law that allows him to stay in office without being challenged by a different incumbent or by a different politician to take office. That is what Trump is going to do.
Yeah, and you know what, and I see where he's coming from. You know, at least I try to know. I try to know what they. If I don't know what they're thinking, you know, I don't want. I got to look more into that. And I truly did try to look into as much research as I possibly could for both sides. You know, I looked at like New York Times and like neutral like courses like that to find my information to try and get the best like headspace on it. And it's what I came to, and I'm explaining to you right now what my thought process is, and I know the things that Trump has done, and I know the things that he said, and he's not a good person. I agree with you, I really do,
But
but
the
I think
need for national security is higher than needing the truth. That's the authoritarian playbook. Yeah, I know. Things are so bad, only Trump can fix them, even though he's a liar and a rapist and a felon and a con artist and somebody who's bankrupted multiple businesses or somebody who's subverting the rule of law to implement his will onto Americans, somebody who's suing law firms into the ground and using executive orders to stifle them and put them out of business and bend to his will and kiss the ring. Somebody who's fucking up the entire world stage of trade so they come kiss his ring. It's terrifying for us to see on our side. It's terrifying to see people like you buying into it.
I mean, I think when you say buying into it, you think I'm just like mindlessly accepting what I'm reading online, and that's not true. Like when I see something on TikTok, like someone says it, sometimes if I'm really interested, I look further into it. So, you know, I truly don't. I'm serious. I don't just buy into what I just see online. I look more into it, and you know, I think in the end, I think it is just a disagreement. I'm trying to explain what I'm aware of Trump. I think a lot of MAGA supporters disregard of things that Trump says or does that would make him, you know, sound bad. And I acknowledge that he's not a good leader. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. 'Cause I think it just comes down from like a just literal disagreement of what he says or does, and I think it's good and you think it's bad. I think that's just what's going on. So
Yeah, there's I don't know. There's nothing. I think there's been like one thing that Trump has done in office that we can agree is good, and it was like something to do with lowering medicine prices. But on the other hand, he did strike down a law that Joe Biden passed that lowered price of insulin to $35 for people on Medicare. Literally everything else is just Trump exerting his authority and doing things to signal to y'all how strong he is.
yeah, and I will admit there are things that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden done that was a good thing. Actually, in my area where I live, there's a lot of infrastructure going on under them that I actually think is going really well. So you know, I think it does go both ways. You know, there were things that with Kamala Harris that you could look forward to positively. Um, in terms of like who they were going to tax. Like you know, Trump taxes other countries, Kamala would tax the rich. You know, things like that.
Trump is not
Um,
taxing other countries. That's not a thing.
I'm saying like through his tariffs. I'm saying like
Yeah,
that's
that's taxing us. That's taxing you, not other countries.
yes, prices go up and for under us. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so
And I
instead of
would
paying
say
like an extra, so instead of paying your taxes when you make money, you're going to be paying like way more when you spend it. That's all. He tricked you.
yeah, I mean, if he did trick me, he played me good because I lived way better. Like my family lived better from 2016 to 2020
Before the
than
worldwide
20 to
pandemic.
24.
Yeah. Yeah, that
We
wasn't
made
a
more.
Trump thing.
We made more money, and we did pretty much the same thing for
Yeah. So
those 8 years.
a worldwide pandemic, like, and the economy afterwards is not reflective of how good or bad Trump was with the economy. He didn't do anything. He golfed. He didn't do much at all in his first administration. And for him to keep saying that's his claim to fame is very misleading and another con that you fell for.
No, I know what he said was misleading. I know he took the COVID thing way out of proportion. Yes, I didn't buy that at all. Um, but yeah, a lot of the stuff he says is ridiculous. But I think the lengths that people go to bash at him, I think is a little bit unreasonable. Um, especially when it comes to like you can just say what he said is wrong or whatever, and but you know like they extend it um to the point where it's like
and like it's like intense level of insulting. But I do understand it. I think in the end, like I said before, with the authoritative tone to other countries, I think like being mean and getting aggressive. I think if you just like, I think in my opinion, Joe Biden like really was softballing a lot of foreign talks with other leaders, and I think that you have to have a certain level of just like, I guess, toughness when you're speaking.
I
But
think that Trump's a weak man's version of what tough looks like, because we can see he's very easily manipulated and very easily bothered just by words. Just like I said, he tweeted 40 times in one night when E. Jean Carroll wrote a book about him and didn't even name him. He's very easily upset, and he tweets in all caps all the time. So he doesn't look like a strong person. He looks like a very like very fragile person, and he hasn't really done anything to the people who need to be checked, i.e., Putin. So Putin is going around slaughtering his neighbors, and instead of being the big strong guy like Biden was and getting all of our allies to rally up behind Ukraine, he's going, "Hey, Putin, you know what? We're not even going to tariff you. In fact, we're going to go easy on you, and I'm going to make fun of the person you're invading on the world stage inside the Oval Office. That's what I'm going to do for you. And then I'm going to stop sending cyber attacks, offensive cyber attacks from the Pentagon for you. And then I'm going to call you smart and brilliant. And I'm going to say with a microphone on the world's biggest stage that you can do whatever the fuck you want if NATO doesn't pay their bills." Trump is not tough to anybody. He's only mean to our allies.
I mean, in response to that, I would say, I think we were getting tossed around quite a bit in terms of the amount that we had to pay for NATO.
No, that's not true. That's a lie. That's another con that he got you with. We pay our own NATO bills, and we just so happen to spend a lot on ourselves, a lot more than every other country spends on themselves. So when he says that,
Yes, we
yes,
shouldn't
it's true.
do that.
No matter what, whether we're in NATO or not, we are spending $1 trillion a year on military to do nothing when every other country around the world is doing the same thing, just not to the tune of $1 trillion fucking dollars.
Yes, that with that spending was a really big issue. We should be more mindful of what we spend stuff on.
Trump increased
And
military
I
spending by
think
$2
with
trillion when he was in office last time. He doesn't care about spending money on our own military. In fact, he wants to do military show of force parades. He loves spending money on the military.
yes, I think that's a good
So
that's a good way to
we're not
increase
saving any
nationalism.
money in regards to our relationship with NATO. That's not saving us any money. But if we dip out on NATO, that doesn't do anything. It makes us weaker. It doesn't make us save any money though. That's something he said that was misleading. We're not paying anybody's NATO bills. We're paying our own. That's it.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not paying for other countries. That's ridiculous. What I'm saying is, we even if something like a military march or whatever you said, I don't think that's inherently bad. I think it's a way to increase nationalism and get people to support the
You
military
know
in
who else
different
does
ways.
that? North
Who?
Korea. That's who does that. North Korea,
Just because we do
Russia.
something the same doesn't mean we have the same mindset. Like in Russia, if you speak out against in Russia, if you speak out against Putin in Russia, you get like killed. Same thing in
Yeah,
North
so
Korea.
we're
You don't get
we're
killed in
inching
the
that way,
US.
right? So like if you speak badly about Trump, if you're a news station that speaks out badly about Trump, Trump is going to use the FCC to target you and harass you with lawsuits and fines and investigations. And he even just signed an executive order to the DOJ saying, "Hey, you need to go investigate this person because he wrote a book about me and I hate him and he seems like a traitor." Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. And I would also say, also, like I said before, fake or like untrue media is bad, and it's not to the degree of bad that Republicans say it is. But also, I would say, he's also speaking out again. You can't speak badly about God, and bringing Christianity into politics. And, you know, I,
That's another
I
tenet of
don't,
fascism where government and religion are intertwined. Yep.
yeah. Um, I think you can bring it in to a certain extent. not to the degree that he has. Like I said, it's another example of I'm glad he's doing it, but he's not doing it correctly. If that makes any sense.
So you don't believe in
Um,
separation of government and religion?
I said like to a certain degree. I said you can still keep it together, um, like a little bit, but yes, for the most part, it should be separate. Which what he's doing, I'm not agreeing with what he did specifically. Um, but yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Um, no, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Take it easy.
Have a great day, man.
Yeah. Chat, follow the stream if you enjoy these debates. Yellow.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah. Well, no, not Trump supporter. I voted him this election.
And what do you like about Trump?
Um, a reason why I like Trump is because I'm a Latino voter, and when it came down to my family, this is unfortunate for me to say, but Trump gave the Latinos more U.S. citizenship than any other president in the last 2 terms. And me and my family were all Democrats, and then when I turned 18, I can vote, and I voted for Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. But why, like the Latino vote isn't a swing vote. It was always Democrat. We sure there's some Latinos voting Republican, but it's always Democrat. And
Okay.
let's just say, right, when Obama won twice, how come and and also Joe Biden, how come they don't give the Latinos paperwork? Like, how come you guys pander towards us, but then we get no improvement rate on U.S. citizenship or any type of paperwork? How
The,
come
the
when
so the very first bill that Biden introduced when he was in office was the U.S. Citizenships Act of 2021, and it was literally a thing to give pathways to citizenship to people like you.
No, that was my next point. Just like Miss Harris, who campaigned for immigrants, Trump did a thing where he campaigned for someone specifically, the Latino people, where we're the third minority group and we do so much for this economy.
What do you mean no though?
So,
Like that what I
so
just
what?
said.
No, hold
Can
on.
you debunk what I just said?
Yeah, easily. Good for those people from Ukraine, from Israel, from those countries. But right now you have a computer. Those people that Joe Biden said that you said helped, what's the percentage of Latinos
Now,
in that
he
group of
tried
people?
to, and the
I
Republicans
will know our
voted it
place
away.
if we were 1%. I will know our place, Pickles. But
No, I'm saying
our
Joe
place is
Biden. Joe
we do a
Biden tried
lot.
to do it, and the Republicans turned it away. Republicans have vehemently called for no extra pathways to citizenship because they're afraid that you guys are going to come
But
vote Democrat.
why at the end of the day, right? Like I hear you. In my family, we're Democrats at the end of the day. But why at the end of the terms does Donald Trump give Latinos more citizenship than Bill Clinton and Obama?
Can you tell
Why?
me where to
Why
find
can
that?
ppv.nc, or you can just Google in general who what is the rate of US citizenship for Latinos, not immigrants, because that's the problem you guys had with the Party, where you guys weren't campaigning for the Latino people. And another example, Pickles, is when my home country, El Salvador, right? When we were
Oh
the
man,
schmurder, when we were the schmurder capital of the world for the last 20 years, no one brought us up, no one talked about us, no one cared. But now that El Salvador cleaned themselves up and now we're the safest country in the world, and now we share the stage with the president of the United States, now you guys want to bring us up? Like you said, Bukele's a dictator. You know that's false. How does a man making the most dangerous country in the world to the safest a dictator?
Because
Who's in those prisons? You
he's
saw what who Bukele
hey,
responded with when they
calm
asked,
down,
"Are you gonna
predictor.
I
Calm
got
down.
you.
He's doing things to perpetuate the lawlessness so they can stay in office. It's proven. He's corrupt.
Because what happened before he was no, he's not corrupt. The ones before him were corrupt, and that's why we were the murder capital of the world, and we're half the size of New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we don't have that same problem here. We don't
Bukele
need to
fixed
do.
our country.
Hey,
So why are you calling
let's
him a dictator?
let's
He fixed our
let's take
country.
turns. Let's take turns.
I got you.
Bukele is doing things to stay in office. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Okay, so that's authoritarian dictator stuff, right?
No, you don't understand, and you're ignoring me for a reason. The ones before Bukele were straight up corrupt. Those are the ones who were paid by gang members and were controlled by gang members.
Bukele is also doing the same
That's
thing.
why Bukele made those prisons. Who's in those prisons? There's no politician in there. That's all MS-13 and Street 18, Calle 18. That's all of them. You saw what that handsome man who was standing next to Trump, who stood next to Trump. It could
And
have been
lied.
any other president. My home
Yeah,
country.
he's
No, he didn't lie. He
yeah.
said, "I can't do nothing about it."
He
Go
said I
talk.
can't
Go take
smuggle a.
accountability to your country.
He said
He
no.
said
He
basically
said I can't
get
smuggle.
accountability to your country.
No, he said I can't smuggle a teaist back into the country. First of all, it's not smuggling. Literally, we're allowing it, and you're the president of your country, and you could allow it. And second of all, this guy's not an adjudicated gang member.
Why wouldn't we allow it?
Because
do you know?
we had the
Do you know how
Supreme
much
Court.
money El Salvador's gonna get from that? Do you know how
6
much my home
million?
country? No,
Yeah.
way more. That's a what's it called? That's a legal robbery. That's so silly for El Salvador to ever deny that. Super silly. That now we have to deny this free money the USA is giving us.
And also,
We're gonna always accept that money. Thank you,
yeah.
by the way.
Okay, I'm saying that Bukele is pretending like he can't do anything, like bring one person back that's in one of his prisons controlled by him. That's an obvious lie.
No,
right?
no. Hold your country accountable. My country too. Let's hold our country accountable. Who did that? Not El Salvador. Let's not bring them up after everything they went through.
So Bukele can or can't bring somebody out of his prison?
You said what?
So Bukele can't control his own prison?
No, he can, but hold your country accountable for sending him there.
So we did, and
it's not on El Salvador's hands.
When I'm talking, you gotta wait until I'm done, okay?
I got you.
So our Supreme Court told Trump he needs to facilitate Garcia to come back, and Trump didn't even try. He pretended like his hands are tied, and so did Bukele. That is a lie.
No, nothing's on Bukele. That's my point. Nothing.
Listen, I'm sorry to say this. Did you know that 30% of Bukele's country is in poverty?
I know a lot about my country. Can you bring up before he was in office that percentage again?
Sure. I'm not saying that he's all bad.
But this man is a savior to our country. So
this man is perpetuating corruption to stay in power in your country.
No. What was the corruption before he was there?
I'm not saying.
And what was the corruption about?
You can't just say because there was corruption before doesn't mean his corruption is okay.
No, hold on. The corruption right now is him staying in presidency and him keeping our country the safest country in the world. The corruption before that you don't want to bring up is MS-13 and Calle 18 controlling El Salvador and making kids TikTok language human adults. That's why we were the number one murder capital of the world, and no one cared. You probably didn't. You probably were like El Salvador. I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. Sure, Central America, but now you know a lot about our country.
Hey, just like
you guys know a lot
said,
about us.
Hey, just like you told us that we should focus on ourselves. You guys can fucking fix your own shit. If you don't want if you don't want someone like Kamala coming to your country and raising money to create businesses and jobs for people in your country, fine. We'll stay the fuck out of your business. If you don't want to be grateful for it.
No, you guys don't hold us. You guys don't acknowledge the Latino voters. And we're not a swing vote. This election it was, and you guys lost it.
How do we not acknowledge y'all when we try to, we're the only
Then why
party,
is it below 5% for us to get paperwork? Why?
Because we're the only party that introduced bills to give you guys a pathway to citizenship. We're the only party who does it.
I hear you.
And you guys,
sorry.
And you guys constantly get shot down by the right. The right is calling you guys rapists and criminals and say you're poisoning the blood of our country or you guys have bad genes.
No, Obama deported the most Latinos out of everyone. And when I respond to you, please We get it. We want there to be a system. We have no problem. Like the other guy said before, this metaphorical line, there is a line. And that line is that the Latino people don't get a fair treatment and we don't get the fair, it's below 5%. Like I
Do you
said,
want to
I
acknowledge
will.
anything I said? Like, we're the only people who fight on y'all's behalf. What does the Republicans do for y'all again?
The Republicans, which I said, Trump gave the Latinos more citizenship than those two presidents. So, for example, it's very black and white. What's gonna give my people paperwork? Straight up.
We're the
Why
ones
are
fighting for you
we?
guys to
Why
have
are we? But
access to
why
a
are we gonna
system to do
keep?
that.
Look, I hear you, Pickles. If anything, I'm lost. If sometimes I regret my vote, but let's just say in 4 years, right? We vote liberal, we vote Democrat. Same thing. The Latino, our immigrant family members don't get paperwork. We still get
Dude,
below
we're the only
5%.
ones trying to give y'all paperwork. We're the only ones.
It's no. Trump has given the Latino people more U.S. citizenship than Bill Clinton and
I
Obama.
highly doubt
That's
it was
messed
Trump's
up.
doing. It was probably a coincidence, if that's even true.
No, Nicholas, I always listen to your lives. This one time, you're not gonna fact check me. This
I'll
one
fact check
time,
you.
right?
I'll fact check you.
No, what I'm saying is your energy. You're just like, well, I mean, it's just a coincidence, probably.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
started
know
to
what
type
I
it
mean,
in. That is
Pickles.
a that
You
is
know what
a
I mean,
that
where
is a
the
hard thing to fact
Democrats
check.
pander toward us, do everything for our vote, but then
We
at the end of the day, we don't get citizenship.
We're
Only the
literally
kids who
fighting for
have
you guys to
birthright.
have due process. Trump is trying to end birthright citizenship with an executive order. We're the
That's
ones
like him
fighting
saying,
for you for have due process, bro.
Pickles, when he says that, right? We all know this man has fake ego and little PP energy. So for him to say he's gonna take birthright citizenship, that's like him saying he's gonna build that wall the first term. Sure, he can say it, but it's all bullcrap.
Dog,
And
you
I'm
can't
a
brush that
wambling
off.
man.
You
Bro,
can't
you
brush that
probably
off.
wamble. You're probably a sports wambler. You're gonna wamble and say that he's gonna remove U.S. Birthright. You know that's all talk.
You know that
Just like his
what he's
first term,
doing is
all
he's trying to
talk.
get the sentiment of the public to get behind him on that. That's what he's
It
doing.
won't pass. At the end of the day, it won't
Okay,
pass, and it's all
but that's
talk.
his sentiment, right? He's
But it's
constantly
all
doing things to
talk, and
bash
you know
y'all.
it.
He's constantly bashing you guys, and you're licking his boot. It's kind of embarrassing.
We're not
man.
licking his boot. We're
It's
gonna do whatever
embarrassing.
it takes for us to get paperwork.
Okay,
Straight
well,
up.
you're working against
Trust me.
yourself, bro.
If no, because at the end of the day, what gives us more paperwork? Unfortunately, again,
It's not
is the
Trump.
Republicans.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
Trump is reversing
Who has
five.
given us more citizenship then?
No,
Who more than Trump?
I don't know. But Trump has reversed
You can
500,000
check right
people.
now.
Hold on, 500,000 people have had their legal statuses reversed arbitrarily because Trump felt like it because he's running out of people to deport.
No, there's not a lot of people to deport. For the first time ever, I heard a term called border crisis. When my people were crossing that border in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all this time, there was never a crisis.
Republicans don't want you here.
Both parties benefited.
Listen, I want you to I
Trust
beg
me,
you to stay here and
Republicans
listen.
love us, especially in the
Okay.
economy world. Shout out to the
Okay.
construction people.
Yeah, okay. You guys just wait around and wait for the next person to come up and you'll hear people tell me about how they know that migrants help the economy. They know that they're good for the United States and they pay taxes. But the big problem is that you guys don't assimilate, that you're culturally different and they don't like that. You're still defending them. You're still defending them. They don't want you here.
No, they want us here, especially the Latino people.
No, they don't.
What happened? What happened during that border crisis? You think it was the Latino signing up for that program and that app?
You mean in 2019?
Yeah, you can check the numbers for that too. When everyone was getting a hotel and a phone number, some of that was fake news, right? But the people who were signing up on that app for an appointment and all that, you think it was Latino people?
You mean
That was every
CBP?
single.
CBP
Yeah.
one? Of course it was
No
Latino people.
No, that's false. No Latino person fell for that trap. These
Everything
Latinos were
south
still
of the
crossing the
border.
border.
Everything south of the border. Do you consider how many of those countries are not Latino?
No, you don't get my point. What happened in Mexico weren't Latinos people doing that. You let every single country go into Mexico. So these Somalians, these Muslims, these Africans, these Europeans, these any type of race went to Mexico and basically said, "This is the sign up sheet. All right, let's do it." No Latino was
So,
signing up for this. We knew it was a trap. We were still crossing the border illegally, bro.
we have immigration
We
numbers.
knew it was a trap.
We
And
have
guess what?
we have
Now we're the target still. That's what
we have
that's where I
immigration
regret my
numbers.
vote.
We have immigration numbers and the nationality of people who came from south of the border, and literally, I bet you 99.9999999% of them are Latino, if not 90.
Nope. You can check right now.
Yeah.
Who signed up in that app and how much people were Latino. These Latinos knew it was a trap, and we were still crossing that border illegally. Because
Part
these people
of
think, oh, the
race
border crisis was everyone
and
signing up. No, my people were still crossing that illegally. Because guess what? We all knew this was a trap.
race. Are you talking about CBP1, right?
Anything where it was a sign-up sheet. I talk very black and white so the whole world can understand me. During this border crisis, the first time I ever heard that term, like I said, both parties benefited from my people
Border
crossing the border
crisis?
all these years.
I don't know what you're saying. Like Trump had the first border crisis, the worst in 50 years in his term. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Yeah, that's the case, but
the border crisis that began and like what you said earlier. Let's bring up the pandemic again during this.
I don't know what you're saying.
If anything, like I said, me and my family we are Democrats still, but this election we voted Trump. You guys need to acknowledge us and campaign for us again. This is like, I will get it if our place was 1%
Dog,
or
you're literally
whatever.
voting for the people
Bro,
who
we're the
called you
third biggest
vermin.
minority, bro.
It's very
That's his first
embarrassing.
term. No, that was his first term. And guess what happened at
So
the
it
end of
goes
his first
away?
term? At the end of his first term, he gave my people the most citizenship.
He
That goes
didn't
a
do that
long
on
way,
purpose.
bro.
What law did he do? What bill did he pass to do that?
It's not a bill or a law. He
So he
finally fucking
personally
made
said let more people
no,
come?
he made the system fair, like you said earlier, like the other person
No,
said
he
earlier.
didn't.
Yes, he brought up his family member and said people were cutting the line. You said what line? There is a line for the Latino people.
No, there's not.
Why? Because so why is it less than 5% for us?
The acceptance?
Yes, any type of paperwork.
You're gonna have to. You can't
Earlier
ask me something to create doubt. You're gonna have to show me. You're gonna have to show me proof that it makes a longer wait.
PPV.NC.
And
PPV.NC.
What does that do?
Gives you the exact rate of the conversion of people who are Latino, who are illegal. How many of them yearly go into America and get U.S. citizenship? U.S. Latinos who get denied just simply a visiting visa. That the Latino number rate is high compared to other countries. When my point earlier too, when Mrs. Harris was campaigning for immigrants, I never denied that. But she was focused on the wrong type of immigrants because the Latino people, we make so much for this economy. It's not me being selfish, it's
So
facts what
Trump's
we do for
mass
this economy.
deportation has no effect on how many people he allowed in.
Mr. Pickles, bro, we were always the target, bro. You're acting like before Trump, oh man, it was the Asians.
So
The
Trump's
Latino
mass
people were
deportation, you're just
always the
saying it's
target.
whatever?
No, I'm saying it's whatever because that's how it's always been. We were always the target from ICE. No other group has the target for ICE.
So you're just saying it's okay because you've always been the target.
No, it's not okay. But this is where we're gonna vote to make a change. So if Trump at the end of his term gave our people the most citizenship, let's vote for that change. Why are we gonna vote for Mrs. Harris?
Dog,
Sure, she's not
there's
deporting
nobody
us,
that will
but we
ever.
want paperwork, bro. We want at least a driver's
Nobody's
license.
introducing pathways to citizenship for Latinos besides the left. Period. Point blank. That's it.
It's not. You say it like that, like it's simple. I can easily have your energy be like, well, Trump gave my people more citizenship and end it at that. But at
Yeah,
the end of the day,
he
I'm a
didn't do
Democrat
anything.
and
He
I
didn't
love
change.
and I listen to your lies. I love your lies.
He did not
You're
change the
the
way
least
it
annoying
works.
out of all of them.
He did not change the way it worked, bro.
Yeah.
Not
No,
in a
he
good
didn't
way.
change the
Not to
way,
benefit you.
bro. He didn't change the way it works, but he approved my people. He fixed that.
Okay,
I'm not saying
CBP.
because I don't want to accuse people that it's rigged, but it's funny that those Israel numbers are high. It's weird, man. It's weird
All
that those
right.
Ukraine numbers are high.
Encounters at the Mexican border, country of origin. So we have Mexico at the very top, 60,000. Venezuela, Cuba, Honduras. Stop me when I hit a non-Latino country. Guatemala, Colombia, Nicaragua, Peru, El Salvador, Haiti. There you go. Other Brazil, Ecuador, Russia, India, Turkey. So literally, the mass majority of them are all Latino. So you're absolutely wrong, bro.
This is false. This is false news, fake news. Because I have another website called ppv.nc where all these countries that are being mentioned, these are all Latino countries. Yeah, but that's fake news. Those are fake.
Really, what would they do that? So the border protection, customs border protection made up fake numbers because that's where they're pulling this stuff from.
No, I'm not saying they're doing fake numbers, but the type of survey or whatever that is specifically, that's false.
No, that's from Customs Border
Because I
Patrol.
have other sources too. Yeah, my sources have Border Patrol too. I'm a
This is from
Democrat.
cbp.gov.
I was very careful this election. And I voted selfish. I voted for my people because my vote can only go so far, especially in North Carolina.
Bro,
You know I'm right, bro.
I know you're wrong. I feel concerned for
Bro,
you,
then
man.
why is it 5% for the Latino people, bro? That's what I'm basically saying. Like,
You
for me,
think
bro,
Trump is going
it's
to?
not even a debate, bro. Like,
It
for me,
isn't.
it's bro, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. The Latino votes, that's not a swing
What
vote,
is
bro.
Trump doing for
That's straight up
Latinos? Tell me.
Democrat.
Tell me what Trump's doing
Huh?
for Latinos. Go ahead.
Giving our family members who are illegal paperwork, bro.
That is not. No, he's not.
Yes, he is compared to Democrat presidents. It's that
Dog, you're
simple, bro.
you're
I'm telling you,
insane.
bro.
You're
I am
insane.
not
That's not
insane,
true.
bro. It is true. You're gonna say Obama gave more papers to Latinos than Trump?
I don't
You're
know
gonna
what
say
you're
Joe
looking at,
Biden?
but we're the only ones introducing bills to give you pathways to
Come
do
on,
this.
man. And
You're insane.
I want you guys to focus on the Latino vote next time, bro. That's why you guys lost straight up. Like, and then we're like, he tricked us, but he campaigned for us. That's why those Latino male numbers went up, and then the female Latinos, the projection went up the roof. Shout out to my Spanish
Yeah,
mommies out there.
it's more of the machismo culture thing, and Trump being
Machismo?
yeah, Trump being a complete.
Don't confuse machismo with pride, because you were wrong about Bukele earlier too, calling the man who took the murder capital
Literally,
of the world to the cleanest country and safest
Hey
country in
man,
the
you
world.
mind if I get the big screen real quick?
yeah.
So shout out El Salvador.
What's that say?
Before this year,
What's that say?
you guys didn't know this
Hey man,
country.
what's that say real quick?
Yeah. Do you listen
Bukele
to
calls himself the world's coolest dictator.
do you
Imagine
have
that.
you listened
Bukele
to any of his
himself called
interviews?
himself a dictator.
Yeah, he has an amazing comedy. He has an amazing
Yeah, it's
humor.
fucking hilarious.
You
It's
should
hilarious when
yeah,
presidents refer to themselves as dictators. Yeah. And
yeah.
then if you actually read the article, it goes a little further in, and it talks about how he's stripping the constitutional right, specifically due process, from the citizens of El Salvador. Yeah, this is
Wait, who
dictatorship,
is this
man.
talking? Tic Tac. Did you
Yeah,
have
Tic
this?
Tac.
Yeah, did you have this energy when my country was the murder capital of the world 10 years ago?
Yeah, man.
Why
You
do you
don't
care
come
about
in.
the
You don't
U.S.?
come
No,
in.
why do you
Yeah,
care about
cool.
Salvadorian
So,
rights
are you
now,
accepting
but
the
not 10
fact? Are
years
you
ago?
accepting the fact Bukele is a dictator now? Are you
Yeah, I
agreeing to
love
that?
that he made my country
So
from
he
the capital
is a dictator then.
murder of the world
So hey
to the
man,
safest
what
country in the
time is
world.
it? What time is it in Toronto right now?
It is 5:25.
Yeah, because you're from Toronto. I
No,
don't
I'm
know
not.
why you're up
I
here.
live in
Then
Toronto.
why is
It's
your name
possible.
Toronto Predator or Predictor?
Guys,
Yeah,
I
that's what I
also
thought, man.
I just got $40 to kick. Jody, thank you so much. $40. She says no words.
I appreciate you letting me up. The whole dictator thing, he stumbled right back into that, man. I went and looked that article up just so I can do that, and then he started talking about it again. I was like, this is perfect. But then the whole Toronto thing, he's not even American. That's fucking wild. He's up here arguing American politics, pretending like he's in North Carolina. That's fucking wild. Anyway, I appreciate you having me up, man. We'll talk to you
Yeah,
soon.
appreciate you, bro.
You all right?
Yeah.
You look like you're kind of drained.
I need more coffee. I think that's what's going on.
All right. You good?
Yeah,
all right, man.
yeah. Appreciate you.
All right, be safe.
All right. Whew. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 200K, guys. We're getting to almost 200K, and we've been holding like 1,500 plus viewers for a while. I love it. Appreciate you guys. If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. I'm gonna find the next guest soon. My guest box is fucking full, chat. It's full. We've got so many people. So many people. Holy shit. Guys, if you're friendly though, get out of my guest box. Get some coffee first. Oh, my girlfriend's gonna make me some. Looks like. Let's wait for this next guest to load. Oh, what's up, RG? My chat says hi, babe. She's got her headphones on. Oh, she's listening to the stream. It's just delayed. All right, hold on, guys. We'll get the next guest. Tell her we want ice cream. Oh my god, I would do unforgivable things for ice cream. You look drink, buddy. Drink water too. I've got my Owala full of water, chat. I got it. Yeah, they want to say hi. You want to say hi?
He looks great. Quit dragging him. I'm making him coffee.
Yellow.
What's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Kind of. I'm an ex-con that got out of prison, and thanks to due process, I was released from prison because I was wrongfully convicted. Anyways, I think we got to look at this in perspective. United States is in a proxy war against Russia. We got a problem with Iran. China's going to invade Taiwan. We had an open border where millions of people are coming in.
It's not true.
Millions of people are not coming in?
No, we never had an open border. This is just something Trump trained you guys to think for like 4 years. I don't think you could really substantiate that.
My family works for immigration.
Okay, you still can't substantiate it.
He works at the detention center where they're housed.
So we were detaining people?
Yes, when Trump took office. That's why they're there right now.
Okay, I still don't think you could substantiate any law changes or anything like that that made the border wide open. In fact, I've got nothing but data showing that you're wrong and that we were actually expelling people from the border at a higher rate during Biden's presidency than Trump.
So we weren't putting people in hotels. We weren't giving them money.
No, you're talking about asylum seekers.
Asylum seekers from other prisons in other countries?
Yeah, you can't substantiate that either.
Of course I can.
We asked the Trump campaign to substantiate where they got that claim, where they're emptying prisons and bringing them here, and they couldn't tell us where they got that info. It was just made up.
Even if that's true, you think it's proper to let people that you don't know the background into a country where
we don't do that? That was never the law.
So you don't see millions of people. You could just walk outside, see a whole bunch of people that are not from this country running our streets.
Dude,
who has killed American citizens?
No one's saying that. How many migrants do you think are here right now undocumented?
Millions.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the U.S. population?
At that point, I'm not exactly sure. I can't give you a number.
It's 350 million people, and Department of Homeland Security suggests there's about 12 million undocumented migrants here. That's about 2%. And when Trump was in office, it was about 11 million. So what you're talking about is like 1.9 to 2%. That is not something you could visibly see no matter what city or part of the country you're in.
Okay, what happened in 9/11? Was it foreigners or was it American citizens?
They were legally here.
Yeah, now imagine if you open the border where it's easier to get in. What do you think is going to happen?
You can't tell me how we opened the border. That's not a thing.
What are you talking about?
We didn't open the border. What law changed since Trump came into office or left? What law did we change that opened the border?
They didn't change the law. They just weren't enforcing the law.
That's not a thing. Like Biden can't just call Customs Border Patrol and say, "Hey, stop enforcing the law." He didn't do that. You'd have to tell me what day he did that.
So how come Trump closed the border really quick?
Because he
What's
turned
the
us
difference?
he started imprisoning people without due process and scared the masses. And we even have travel bans in our country right now, or travel warnings from other countries.
Yeah, I agree that there should be due process. But at the end of the day, you got to respect presidential powers because we're at war. World War III is coming to us, whether you like it or not.
Who are we at war with?
Russia?
You mean Trump's best
Iran?
friend? We're not at war right now. What are you talking about?
What do you think a proxy war is?
We're still not at war.
Yeah, but we keep on pushing him. What do you think is going to happen? You think he's just going to let the United States do whatever the fuck they want to do in his country?
No, Trump is basically letting Putin do whatever he wants to do. I don't see him being mean or stopping anybody from doing things right now.
So he's not trying to stop the war? The meetings with Zelensky? That never happened either?
They're not including Zelensky in the meetings and the talks with Russia.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to cooperate. He doesn't want to recognize that he lost that war. He's done.
Dog, the whole West is considering us the bad guys right now because of the way Trump is handling this.
So what's the alternative? What was Biden doing?
He was sending them aid like we owed them 0.5% of our military budget to keep them armed and defending themselves. I think it was good.
What did that accomplish?
A lot.
Are they winning? Are they winning?
They were.
They were? What happened?
Trump defunded them.
What about the Europeans? I thought they had their back. It's their side of the world. They can't handle their own shit.
They were 50% of the contributions to that. Yeah.
But if we don't stop this war, we're going to have the whole world's in trouble right now.
Yeah, so we have every interest to stop Russia from continuing to take on sovereign nations and invading their neighbors. You're right. And Trump is being the nicest person possible to them, which is wrong.
But what do you expect? If you need to talk to people to stop a war.
I think he's realizing he's getting played. If you see his Truth Social posts recently, he's like writing in all caps to Putin's, "Please stop." He doesn't know what to do because he's realizing he's getting played. He's the most easily manipulated person I can think of.
But how old are you? 30?
36.
I'm 50 years old. I've seen everything that you could possibly experience. We've been through that. As a child, you know what they used to tell us? Go hide under a desk in case the Russians hit us with a nuke. These people are a threat to our country.
Yes, and Trump's being besties with him. In fact, we didn't even put tariffs on them. In fact, we stopped doing offensive cyber attacks to Russia per Trump's Pentagon.
Yes, because we're trying to stop the war. We're trying to stop the war.
They're not. They haven't stopped anything. What does it accomplish?
And what do you think giving more arms is going to accomplish?
Helping them defend each other. Listen, I would rather see Russians dying at a rate 10 times higher than Ukrainians than seeing them have all sorts of benefits when Trump is in office. I would much rather see them struggling, invading their neighbors, than having best friends with the person in the Oval Office.
They lost 1.5 million people already. No matter how many arms we give them, they're not going to win.
Who lost 1.5 million?
Ukraine.
That's not true. It's like 70,000.
70,000? You're insane. There's no way it's 70,000.
That's literally the whole internet, what the consensus is. Yes. What do you make? I've never heard somebody say 1.5 million.
You ever watch Redacted? You ever watch Scott Ritter?
You mean podcasters?
Podcasters, the news, everybody.
Yeah.
Do you see the news from other countries?
I trust war analysts from around the world. I don't trust podcasters.
You're a podcaster yourself, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sitting here with breaking news that nobody else has. I'm just literally regurgitating what the general consensus is on the world stage.
But there isn't no way in hell Ukraine's going to win. And
I don't know where you're getting that information. It's not true.
What arms do they have? Our arms? Russia has nuclear weapons.
Yeah, they used to have nuclear weapons until we made them give them up. That's why we owe them defense.
And we're trying to expand NATO right next to the border, too.
Yeah, God forbid they don't want to be fucking attacked by Russia every 4 years and they want to join NATO.
Well, how come Cuba, United States had a problem with Russia because Cuba wanted to have nuclear weapons right next to us. That's a threat to us. Just at the same threat they're going to have if Ukraine's going to join
We're not
NATO.
putting nukes on their border. In fact, we already have multiple nations on Russia's border, Lithuania and Latvia, that are part of NATO, and they didn't attack us then.
But we don't have a decapitation capability. You're talking about 20 minutes away.
No,
There's
they're
no
literally on the
reaction.
border. What are you talking about?
No, but you have enough time to prepare, to move, to do something. But when you're 20 minutes away, there's nothing you can do. That's what the threat that they have towards them.
I don't think that made any sense. Does anybody know what he's saying?
So how come we didn't want Cuba to have nuclear weapons?
Well, if
Does
we
it hit the White
invaded,
House in minutes?
if we invaded Cuba every 2 years, or Mexico, they would have every fucking right to make best friends with Russia.
But you think NATO should expand it to the borders?
They're already at the border of Russia. There are literally multiple countries, and more countries have joined NATO because of Russia's actions recently. In the last 2 years, countries who have been historically neutral, Finland, Sweden, they have joined NATO because of Russia's actions. So if they don't want more people joining NATO, they've done a really bad job at that.
Every country has a right to protect themselves. Why
They're
wouldn't
not,
they?
they're being offensive. They invade Ukraine every few years. What do you mean it's protective? NATO's a defensive alliance. They're not offensive. They say, hey, if you attack one of us, you attack all of us. It's called Article 5. And the United States is the only people in history who have invoked Article 5.
Yeah, Ukraine's not part of a NATO. How come we're helping them?
NATO's not only our only allies. NATO is a defensive pact, but if one of our allies or somebody that's a sovereign nation on the world stage is attacked, we have every interest to stifle that on the world stage. If we want peace, if we want long-lasting peace, we should tell disgusting people like Putin, we should show him that his horrible efforts will be futile.
Yeah, but words aren't gonna do nothing. All these little weapons ain't gonna do nothing. That man has
They're killing all of his soldiers. Of course, he had to go run and get help from North Korea.
That's what every nation does. World War III, was it just World War II? Was it just us? Was it? It wasn't. You know what I mean? That's what happens. You get a pack mentality because you have to defend your country.
Hey, you remember World War II?
Yeah.
You remember how we got involved really late?
Yup.
You think that was a mistake?
Was it a mistake? Possibly.
Okay. Do you think we should keep doing that, or do you think we should be preemptive and protect Ukraine?
Well, preemptive against a country that can't fight back is it's one thing. Preemptive with a country that could destroy the world is another.
Okay. Again, just because they have nukes, we shouldn't bend to every bit of their will. Do you think they'll ever stop if they keep threatening us with nukes and basically teaching you guys that it's bad to stick up to Russia? I can't believe you and Trump are falling for this. Like the whole rest of the world have decided that we're going to stop Putin in his tracks, but you guys are like, hey, be scared of Putin.
Scared of Putin? How come the United States doesn't put soldiers there?
Because that would escalate things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the correct direction to go is to fund Ukraine with literally our pocket change that we found in JD Vance's couch. Literally 0.5% of our military budget was enough to help Ukraine stay.
And accomplish what? What have they done? Nothing.
They've held land. They literally had air superiority. They had land superiority. They had sea superiority. They had intelligence superiority with our help. Now they have none of that, and they're running out of money because Trump decides he wants to take and steal minerals and shit from a country that's being invaded. He decides he's better friends with Putin than Zelensky.
What are you gonna do when China attacks Taiwan? What are we supposed to do with that?
Again, the rest of the world is watching, and if they see that we're too pussy to go help Ukraine, they're gonna think that we're not gonna help Taiwan either. You guys are chanting America first. Do you feel like China feels a little more emboldened to go get Taiwan now? You guys are chanting America first?
He's emboldened. It's going to happen regardless whether we want it or not.
All right.
All right. Have a good day, bro.
You too.
Good. God bless.
Donnie, thank you so much for the subscription. Chat, don't forget, I have a Cash App and Vimeo in my bio. If you guys feel like kicking any of these people, it's $40 to kick, and that's not because I'm greedy. It's because I don't want people kicked as often. We start to run out of people to debate. But I also do have a subscription. If you guys are trying to be awesome as fuck, you immediately kind of bump up on that scale when you get a membership on YouTube, or if you get a subscription on TikTok. It's like $3. If you guys are trying to find a way to be way cooler than you were, that's one thing you can do. I don't know how to do that. Guys, if you click on, I think it's like a star right here if you're trying to subscribe, or it might be right here. It's like right here. It's like a star. You also get sweet emotes in the chat. If you see Angela with the Magikarp emote, that's where that's from. Lower left corner? Okay, yeah. It's right there. Sorry, my shit just lagged. All right, guys, let's get to the next one. Audrey, thank you for the 12 months. Audrey, dang. I didn't think you'd get any cooler. Quincy Pub, thank you for the subscription. Thank you, guys. Hello? Mr. Chico, are you watching SpongeBob? That's okay, it's okay. W SpongeBob, guys. W SpongeBob. This one might not connect, guys. Bear with me. Chat, follow the stream if you enjoy these debates. And thank you guys so much for helping me hit my subscription goal. I love y'all. Love you so much. Deluxe for a year? Sue, are you kidding me? Sue. You fucking queen. W Sue's in the chat. That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. Sergeant Patrick on YouTube says, I'm from Norway and I have served for over 2 years in Ukraine. Much love, Sergeant Patrick on YouTube. You're a fucking baller. Sue says, I've learned more from you than anyone. Fucking love that. Lori with 12 months. What? 2 spares and cupcakes described for 12 months deluxe too? Guys, what is going on? Oh my god. Oh my god. W 2 sparrows cupcakes. And Lori with 12 months. What is happening, guys? Jeez. Hazy, thank you for the subscription as well. It's a good thing Sergeant Patrick wasn't part of the 1.5 million who died. Guys, it's not 1.5 million. It's about 700,000 to a million Russians dead though. They're just sending them into, it's called the grinder. That's what they're doing. There's literally, there's so little strategy being invoked on Russia's side. They're just sending masses of people and hoping that they break through their defenses. Tanner with a 1 cent donation said, "Eat this, liberal." Damn it. Lynn says over 800,000. That sounds right. The Zergling strat, dude. W
Your
StarCraft.
car and your lowest credit card number ends with 2574? Okay.
Test. I just muted. Who was that talking just now? It's Christine. Are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not, but I had a question I wanted to ask you. Earlier, you were talking with someone and you were, you there?
There you are.
Yeah, you were talking about the Chinese and in China talking about job cuts, right?
Yeah.
I believe the website was one second. I'll tell you what it was. I can't find it right now. I just had it. You give me a second and I'll find it for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I did want to tell you also. Were you at the group of people that was in the college last week?
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a great job, but I was disappointed with a lot of stuff too. So, I was very disappointed because I have a lot of people in my family that are Trump supporters. My son is one. My son-in-law is another one. But I do have a question that you might be able to help me answer. I spoke with a MAGA, and we were talking about. I told the person that China had just recently canceled all the pork contracts, so now the farmers in the United States are in trouble with that as well. Their response to me was, "Well, it's better for the United States because now the pork prices are going to go down for the American people." How do you respond to that?
I don't think that's how that works, right?
It doesn't work like that, but how do you come up with it doesn't work like that, but I mean, how do you come
lower the supply with the same amount of demand? That means that prices go up.
right, but how do you say it in a more easier answer for somebody to make it make sense to them?
If we were buying from China and it was more expensive, that is huge blunder on somebody's part. Obviously, if there's cheaper pork to buy domestically, we'd be buying it. So I don't think that's a thing.
I didn't know how. I'm like, how do you explain it to somebody in simpler terms? Like I'm like, you cancel contracts with American people. It's messing up American people. Well, no, it's better for American people because now we're going to have more pork for American people. I'm like, oh my God, really?
Wait, I thought we were importing pork. It was like 12,000 tons?
No, it was actually contracts that was going out, and now Brazil got the contracts.
Canceled a shipment of 12,000 tons of U.S. pork. Oh, okay, I had it backwards. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have extra pork just laying around. I don't know. If there's not a market for them to buy it right away, it's just going to go to waste, and there's going to be a huge loss. So like companies are going to see a huge loss in their profit margin in the pork industry, and that expected revenue is now gone. Those companies are now hurting.
Exactly, but it's like, how to explain to Trump supporters it's still not a good thing because it's still going to hurt farmers either way.
Yeah,
I don't care if we still got consumption in the United States, it's still going to hurt farmers in the United States.
Yeah, so pork might go down a little bit, but yeah, we're going to see some pork farmers go out of business, and that's going to cause skyrocketing prices, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and there was some other issues, but I'm gonna hop off now and let some other Trump supporters get on because there's some other things. I mean, you're a really good listener. I'm new to you guys. I'm like almost a ghost on here because I'm all new to this. I have a lot of other issues I have to worry about. I have a 13-year-old grandson. He's about to be 13. He's a type 1 diabetic, autistic. So you know where all my worries are at with this administration, especially with
Mm,
Kennedy.
yeah.
You know, and I also believe with him, you know, with his quote unquote conspiracy theories and eugenics, and I have a lot to worry about, you know, and so it's
All right. I love you. I'm sorry. My mods will kick you if you're friendly. It's not a reflection of how much I love you. I'm so sorry, guys. Looking for opposition right now. We are kind of losing traction in the algorithm. So I'm so sorry. I love you guys, though. Mother lovers. Chat. I'm sorry. I'm already sorry.
Was that mother lovers for me, Pickles?
Yeah, Liam. Yeah, it was.
Why? Whatever. You don't need to go into it. You dislike me. It's fine. Maybe I'll do better this time.
We'll see. We'll see. How do you want to
Yeah,
disappoint? How do you want to disappoint me today, Liam?
you have a gentleness about you that's actually rather pleasant. I will say that, dude. And I don't say that in like a negative light. I hope you can hear that.
Appreciate you.
Circling back, just because I'm seeing so much of it. What's going on? What's going on with the crew?
Oh, you want the tea?
I mean, I look at like Tashika, like coming after the rest of the crew. It's like, I thought you guys were all supposed to be united. What is going on right now?
I don't think I don't think I want to bring up anybody's name. I
mean,
want
it's
nothing to do with drama. And in
I
fact,
get that.
if someone looks like they're trouble, I block them without saying a goddamn word.
That's why I was saying it to you, and I'm talking to you about it. I haven't talked to anyone else about it really, because I did watch some of your videos when you were on campus in Texas. And, I would say another thing too. If you guys are fighting for your rights and your cause and all this stuff, don't you think that Texas A&M was the wrong place to start? Don't you think when Kirk would have been in like San Francisco, somewhere in California?
We're not looking for people who agree with us.
You need people that agree with you at this point. You
So
guys maybe as I don't know if it comes across as arrogance on your part, like we have the truth and we do not care how many opposition are in front of us. We are going to win with our truth. That's what it looked like, dude. When you're actively trying to stop pedestrian traffic and saying, watch how weak these MAGA supporters are. Watch them. Check this out.
Who did that?
Who did that? Dean was doing that. Everyone was doing that.
Alec, thank you for the $40 for the kick. Sorry, guys. Alec, W Alex in the chat. ALEC W. WWW all day. Man. Chat, it's been a day. I have a meeting in about 2 hours. I have a meeting in about 2 hours. What do you suggest we do? Should we go friendly for a little bit? I think I'm gonna go subscriber only. We've been on for about 3 hours now. I'm gonna go subscriber only and we can chat, and maybe I can do some Ask Me, some AMA. I don't know if that's interesting at all. I don't know if I'm that level of cool yet. But if you guys want to do an AMA. And big shout out to Jody. Thank you so much for this 5 subscription, the 5 gifted. Allow. I think this is the second time you've accidentally come up. Yeah, this person's not here. Yellow?
I came up really quickly for 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds of your time. There is something that is in the bio for Pickles. That is something called Discord. Has anybody ever heard of this place before? It's called Discord. You have to join it. You have to. And it's tremendous, all right? We have a lot of fun there, a lot of fun. And one quick thing, I just had an executive order made that we turn the French kiss into the kiss of America. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be tremendous. No more French kisses, only kisses from America. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Pickles.
What's up, Adriana?
It's funny that Tanner brought up Discord because I saw something earlier. And I'm not sure how true this is. I haven't fully deep dived into it, but apparently they're going public and selling a bunch of and Discord is selling a bunch of shares.
Oh.
Yeah. So Discord may turn to even shittier shit than it already is.
I don't know. Discord, there's a lot of room for them to improve, I think. But yeah, I feel like if they go public, there's going to be a lot of, what do you call it?
I reposted the video.
Predatory monetary practices. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that if they go the full subscription to do basically anything, or they might, if it does fully go public, that it might do limited messaging, so you're forced to subscribe.
Yeah.
Or to get a subscription to it.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of messaging apps are doing that shit. I can find the video and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me on Discord or something. I don't know.
I'm not in the Discord. I keep forgetting.
Get your butt in that Discord.
I'm trying. Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. Because I was drinking a C4 the other day at work, and then my coworker bought a Monster because he hadn't had it before. And he didn't like it. So I took it from him.
Guys, I just got
So I was drinking both at the same time.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, you need Jesus in your life.
No.
You're out of control.
No, thank you.
All right, you're right. I'm kicking
Love
you.
you. Okay, love you.
Love you, bye. Guys, this is from Argent. The best of the best. But if you guys remember that guest that was up here saying that Donald Trump naturalized more Latinos than Biden, we have factual data that shows that is not true. We've got Barack Obama, total naturalizations averaged 680,000, 750,000 per year. Latino share, mainly Mexicans, often accounting for 30%, was about 200,000 to 250,000 per year. Donald Trump's naturalizations averaged from 700,000 in 2018, dropped to about 625, and fell sharply to 625 in 2020 due to the pandemic. Latino share, roughly 180,000 to 220,000. So literally the ceiling of Donald Trump's average was the floor of Obama's. And then we have Joe Biden. Joe Biden did 900,000 in fiscal year 2022, the highest in 15 years. Latino share of that was 250,000 per year, reaching record highs. Literally, Joe Biden naturalized more Latinos than any of the presidents in recent history. So that last guest was entirely wrong. I don't remember what his name was, but I hope you heard this. God damn it. They're always wrong. Like, what? And it like, even if it was true that Trump naturalized more people, it's not because of Trump. It would have been like a happy accident. It would not have been because Trump chose it to be that way. He does not want those people here. Tom Homan and Steve Miller are completely antithetical to anything that is not a white Christian nationalist agenda. That's all they're about. Steve Miller is literally the devil. Steve Miller, if you look at him, he literally could like play a role in a movie or a TV series where he's literally the devil. It's like this weird, like ratty little bald man. Satan has a sharper jawline in here. You're right. You're right. The Toronto, yes, predictor. That's what his name was. Toronto, I expect you to subscribe immediately so you can chat. Angie, thank you so much for the subscription. Guys, thank you so much. We're 8 subscribers away. I'm just kidding. We're 7 subscribers away from hitting our goal. Please unsubscribe me. You're stuck with us, springtime sun. Sorry. You're gonna have to learn. Biden's literally the devil. The guy that goes to church every Sunday. As opposed to the guy who sells Bibles and says he's not Christian. China Bibles. China Bibles. Made by Chinese prison labor. Diane McEver, thank you for the sub. Edna Ray, thank you for the sub. Thank you guys so much. And the VP, oh my god. Eek, chat. The King James version, which I always think is funny. Yeah, right, because wasn't he in the LGBTQ community? More of a Queen James, if I may? Diva James? Thank you for the crew, which y'all did in Texas. It's making a difference. I'm sorry for the negative. You're okay. Thank you, Angie. He in fact was, yeah. Bro, someone on YouTube goes, if you became king of the world, but for your military you could only have one race, what race would it be? I don't entertain those questions. Puro Chihuahua has accidentally come in here like 12 times. Dom with 12 months of subscription. Dom, you beautiful human. Are you freaking kidding me? DOM, Mama Dom, thank you so much. Molly says, where are you from? I am from Dallas, Texas, guys. Do we have any more Texans in chat? There's got to be some Texans in chat. I've never subscribed to anyone before, but you're the best and I live in your hometown. What? We have another Dallasite? We forgive you for being in Dallas. That's okay. It's okay. That's all right. Dahlia's in Fort Worth. Charlie's in Oklahoma. Howdy, neighbor. Oh, you're in Tyler. How did you know? How did you know that? Oh, okay. Okay. That made my stomach drop for a second. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was a long time ago. Xander's in Irving. Love it. Barbecue debate time. What is Tyler good at? They have a lot of hospitals. Maybe they're good at that. Retirement homes, hospitals, and churches. And rich people. Yeah, there's money in Tyler. Trump is the best president of all time. Ugh. Chat, if you guys haven't subscribed to my YouTube yet, that's where I'll be if TikTok ever goes away. And also, if you like to see the insanity of MAGA in text form, it's there all day. While I'm streaming, it's just insane. Apparently, I'm a beta male. I'm a beta male. Did someone subscribe to say that? Because if so, I love it. No. No. They said it in YouTube chat. Democrats' insanity is California. Yeah, the fourth largest economy on earth. We are responsible for it. It's a real tragedy. Subbing to another man to call him name is hilarious. See, I have had that before. During the election, I did have that. Trump is making you money. What else would you talk about? Right now, we would probably be going over the delusion of MAGA as Trump faced trial. He would have already be in trial for, I think, the Georgia case. It was going to be in March. The RICO case. All sorts of great evidence would be coming out. We'd be talking about it all day. We'd have angry MAGA talking about the DOJ being weaponized and Letitia James completely ruining Trump's life because his criminality is so apparent, and him trying to persuade people in Georgia to find 11,762 votes. We'd be looking at all of the fake slates of electors. We'd be looking at all of those. We'd be probably talking about the documents case. We'd be probably talking about all sorts of stuff. And people in complete denial that Trump is in fact a criminal. I would have loved to do that. Yeah, we'd probably have somebody actually releasing the Epstein files for us to read and see Trump's name all over it. You know, there's a reason that hasn't been released yet. It's going to be a long time before we're free from the Trump conversation. That's true. Unless he literally kidnaps me and puts me in El Salvador in prison, then nobody will be talking about it. They did release it? It was just like one part of it, right? It wasn't the whole thing. Do you know where you guys will go next? Come to Utah. You'll be welcome while still in red territory. We're having a meeting tonight, and there's going to be... I'll know more after tonight. I'm going to assume the meeting is going to be a few hours long. We're going to have a meeting tonight, so we'll see what happens. I still have to check up. I have a signal chat with all the creators from Unfuck America Tour, and it's like it takes me a good minute to catch up each time I put it down. But we'll have to figure it out. I'm in that signal chat out of accident. Are you in the small group? Yeah, we do unironically have a signal chat. Oh my god, I literally just now enabled super chats on YouTube. I had it turned off. A big shout out to Argent, who's been helping me monetize and run my YouTube. I don't have any... who wants to be my first super chat? You can make it tomorrow. We don't have to do it today. But we just turned on super chats. New articles of impeachment? Nickel. I saw a shirt with that on it. The fist of fire and the American flag. I want to buy that shirt so bad. Check Discord. Oh, I see it. Democratic lawmakers file articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. Go check it out. "50 minutes ago, Hey! Matt, thank you so much for the super chat. Uh-oh. Stacy with the super chat. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Guys, I have to... I don't know... You guys are just going to have to go look on YouTube what the GIF is for the super chat. I love it. Are you guys seeing that? The girl playing video games casually. She's actually working. She's not playing video games. I love my notification for super chats. Been watching Jones, Dean Parker, and a bunch for so long. It's so funny. I feel like I know. Yeah, the parasocial relationship. You know, it really does kind of make it different. Like if I run into, I've met a few people in public now that said hi, and it's kind of cool to see maybe kind of how comfortable they are, like saying hi. I think it's dope. I actually found you first before any of the other debaters and then spiraled into addiction. That's what happened to me. I got addicted to watching Parker debate God about 2 years ago, and then I got pulled into this. What's up, bub?
That's good though. How's it going, Mike?
Not much.
I love that. I love that people talk so bad about California, yet it's like literally the greatest state in the union.
True.
We produce like we have the best GDP, literally competing with countries.
Someone said, when did you start this? Back in September last year.
Hey, I'll say at least if you have a low-level job in California, you still get paid somewhat better than anywhere else in the nation. So riddle me that, chat. All those California haters. You can go work at McDonald's and get paid $15 an hour. Actually, I think they upped fast food to 20 recently.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pickles was my first follow on the app. What? Yeah, even gig work is paid.
Yep. Livable wages, livable prices. I mean, granted, like there's stuff that we pay extra for, like our tax on fuel is a little bit higher and stuff like that and all that. But being here, we are like where everybody comes from, And I'd say San Francisco and LA are very big about that because of like, the Golden Gate Bridge and just all the touristy stuff. But people come here for the work and the industry as well, because they know that they can get paid, do what they got to do, and at least live.
Yeah, someone says, isn't electric bills in Cali like hundreds of dollars? I live in Texas, and I had a one-bedroom apartment. My electricity bill was about $300 a month.
Yeah.
So
Electricity is expensive, but that's also based on like the size of what your usage is and stuff like that. Like my average bill is probably about 260, 280, 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot house, Granted, I don't use like the heater or the AC all that often, even though it gets to like 115 outside. But, I can deal with the heat a little bit. I don't have to live in comfort all the time.
someone says, I think California is beautiful, but crime and homelessness seem to be out of control. Is it fake? They do have a lot of the homeless population, but I think it's because the climate enables it. Like if you're homeless
Yeah.
in Arizona, you're not going to be alive unless you travel somewhere that is climate friendly.
Just like cold climate areas. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to survive as easily during winters and all that stuff. I mean, we
Plus
do have a homelessness thing. It is a problem, and it is a solvable problem. I mean, a
Yeah.
nationwide solvable problem, really. I think I forget what economist it was, but they had stated that if basically the corporations and the rich just paid what they owed in taxes every year, not increase or anything like that, that we could solve homelessness in the United States. So
Yeah. Also, it's a product of cost of living going up. So when cost of living versus income meets a certain threshold, people become homeless. So when there's a lot of people in one area, cost of living goes up. So it's just inevitable, and you have to do things as a society to keep those people from falling into homelessness or to make up for it. And there's nothing that red states do specifically to keep people from going homeless. It just so happens that California has a lot of people and there's a lot of homelessness there. There's nothing red states do or even propose to do to stop homelessness.
to actually combat it, exactly, yeah. And I think even the crime rates, there was a chart that was showing, I think it was last month or the month before, that the average was going up by 18% all across the country, and California had only gone up 3%. And it's because we have like systems in place that, you know, allow for different stuff, like our for petty crime, for instance, for stealing, you have to steal like $1,500 worth before you actually get prosecuted. You know, and unfortunately, corporations like Target, they'll sit there and monitor you until you reach that threshold to actually put you in jail. They'll set up a file for you on loss prevention, you know, with your camera footage and all that kind of stuff. But I love this state. I've been to other states as well. I haven't been to Texas yet. I mean, I've gone through an airport, but I don't consider that being, you know, in the actual state. But I've been to Oregon, Washington. I've been to Virginia, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Chicago. And still enjoy it here. Like, even with the cost of living, we have every type of food that you would want. There's the, you know, you could live in a rural area if you want. You can live in a big city if you want. You can go see snow during winter by a few hour drive, going to Tahoe and stuff like that. I mean, we have it all, man. I mean, it's
What's up, Andrew?
Oh, hey, I was just coming up to say the guy you're talking about, Fish, was on the Daily Show, I think last week. Um, he was saying to Jon Stewart, like, if we just not even increase taxes on the 1%, but just get them to pay,
pay
like,
what they
actually
owe.
what they owe,
Yeah,
we could like end poverty in this country. It's just insane. Like, it's not even like we're asking for an increase. It's just like pay what you owe. You know, stop hiding your assets and these types of things, and just pay what you owe on your income. You know.
yeah, exactly.
It should be so simple. It's crazy that it's not.
And we have issues like in certain high populous areas, like San Francisco, especially, where it's a very finite amount of land, and there's a ton of like, you know, huge, huge buildings and stuff like that that isn't really conducive for housing. Um, and so like building new places there's difficult, right? Because again, you're just dealing with like old buildings or huge buildings, like big financial buildings. So there isn't the room for it. But now if you move like towards Central Valley and stuff like that, there's room here. There's a bunch of development. I mean, there's people buying huge development places, buying like old farmland and stuff like that, and building a ton of new houses. I wouldn't say that they're like necessarily affordable for most people, but it's definitely possible if you're at least, you know, two people in making a medium income, you know. Between
There's places in California that are affordable still.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, where I
There's
live specifically, like we bought this house. I went 50-50 on this house back in 2009, and granted that was after the '08 crash and stuff like that, so the prices were real low. But we paid 90K for the house for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, you know,
Wow.
almost 1,600 square foot, 2 car garage, front yard, backyard, the whole thing. It's secluded. It's not in a town. It's not in a huge city or anything like that. Like I'm by where all the food is made, like all the almonds and stuff like that. They're pretty much all grown here, you know.
Yeah. My
Um,
wife and I bought a house 2 years ago, a cabin. We bought our cabin in the mountains for 330,000,
yeah, which is
and
achievable.
it's
Yeah,
just outside of Los Angeles. Like, it's so close, the
yeah.
cabin. So yeah, we live in LA. You know, it's like and the cabin is 90 minutes away. It's like it's not crazy.
And I'll tell you, there's like solutions that you can have. Like, for instance, a buddy of mine is a security guard for Nvidia, and he was paying $1,250 a month plus utilities, which ended up being about $1,350 for him a month for a room um, in Campbell, which is like down the street from the big Silicon Valley places. Like we're talking Apple campus, the whole thing. And he had to move, right? His lease was up and they didn't want to renew. So I told him, like, hey, just keep an eye out on marketplaces and stuff like that. And we'll try to find you something in the 450, 550 range, because there's places out or people out there that will gladly accept someone that's making enough to be able to pay a low amount and stuff like that in rent. And I mean, it took us 2 months to find it, but we found him a place. And now he's
Yeah.
literally pocketing over $1,000, you know, or $900 a month just in rent costs,
Yeah, that's great.
you know.
I think what people don't quite like California is so big.
It's
And
huge. Yeah.
it's not only in terms of landmass, like I don't think the maps necessarily do it justice, but it takes me, it takes me 7-ish, 6 something hours to drive to San Francisco from Los Angeles.
Right.
Like it's huge. But not only that, like I think it was just reported a couple of days ago that we are now like the fourth largest economy in the world. We were the fifth, and now we've surpassed Japan.
Yeah.
We're to be the fourth largest economy in the world. Like, so when you have an economy an economy and a state, a population and landmass that's that big, we have that's as big as other countries in terms of economic growth, but also population. We have we have this problems the size of other countries. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
have
as
a homeless
entire countries.
problem,
Yeah.
but we have the homeless problem of an entire country. It's that scale because we have just that many more people. I don't know. It's complicated. I love California. It can be very frustrating, but I don't know.
I mean, it's like people complain about the price here and how expensive stuff is, but they look at just that one avenue and don't understand that there's options also still available here to have affordable housing. There's still options here to have affordable food and stuff like that. I mean, I can go, like I was telling Pickles about when this whole egg thing's going on. You can get a flat of eggs for um, like 30 eggs is a flat. So I would get like 4 flats and it was like 22 bucks or something like that, $24 from a farm. I can go directly to the farm and buy it. They have little storefronts in front. And it's same with like dairy farms. I can go buy milk. I can go buy almonds. I can go buy fruit, all this stuff out of chain, you know, from going to stores and stuff like that.
How are you eating 4 flats of eggs though?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't eat all of them, but it's
Say what?
when they sell them by pack. So it's like if you get 4 flats, it ends up being cheaper. So, and then honestly, even like my neighbors have chickens, right? I live in enough rural area, even though it's like a little suburb within around farms and stuff. Um, I mean, they don't even pay. They just have chickens laying eggs.
Yeah, actually, the state of California like has pretty good lenient laws on raising your own chickens. Like I have a friend who is also a film composer, and he has goats and chickens on his like studio where he built his studio kind of out in like the Agua Dulce area, which is a little bit north of LA, but it's still LA County.
Right.
And he has goats and chickens, and you know they're really lenient. Like, I mean, it depends on your HOA and stuff like that, but
If you have HOA, yeah, if it's covered by them or not, but
yeah,
um,
actually, when I down the street from our Sherman Oaks apartment, there used to be a house that had a chicken coop in the back, and that was like in the valley of Los Angeles.
right. Yeah, it's not uncommon to see people think that California is like, oh, we don't farm, we don't do anything. It's like actually we make a ton of food. It gets sent over across the entire nation and world. Um, I mean, we produce everything here, and that's probably why the economy is so strong and why we
Right.
you know, have what we have.
I will not take the California slander. Did you know, like, even though there's other states that grow more corn, the California is the one that grows the vast majority of edible corn for human consumption in this country.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't a lot of the corn get used for fuel as well on the subpar stuff that's sold out of other states or grown out of other states?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is used for ethanol and then like turned into corn syrup, like but then
Yeah,
also feed, like farming
feed.
feed, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was something like 70 to 80% of the sweet corn that is grown in the United States is grown in California. It's crazy.
Are we just glazing Cali right now? Hey,
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
come and move here, man. That's all I'm saying. Like you'll be at least with the right-minded people. But the problem is like I actually enjoy that Pickles is in Texas because it's like you can have somebody that has like-minded views as someone that would be like considered a Californian, if you will, like very leftist, right? But it's better to have people like Pickles in red states to convince people to understand that thought logic, right?
Yeah.
Or thought process and logic, I should say. I mean, you can't just have everybody blue from the country move here because then all the electoral colleges will just be all red, you know.
Well,
It's not
we
cheap
got
here. I mean, you can find places that are good deals, like caffeine, you know. It's not cheap, but at the same time, like the quality of life, I think is very good. Having access to all four seasons, you know, you can go to the beach, you can go to the mountain, you can go to like Pickles if you want to pull up the Avenue of the Giants, and you'll see this beautiful, beautiful road that's like just all the sequoias and stuff like that you can drive through. You
oh
can
yeah,
drive
yeah.
through trees and all that.
Talk about NorCal up there. Oh, actually, Sequoia. That's not necessarily. That's not. You're not talking about redwoods. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like north of Bakersfield a little bit in Sequoia National Forest.
No, it's farther north than that actually. So it's the Avenue of the Giants is I can't even remember, but it's past like Santa Rosa.
We're in the. Our cabin is basically in the Grapevine. Do you know where the Grapevine is?
Oh yeah.
If you get off before the Grapevine, start winding through all these roads, you get up to like 5,000, 6,000 feet elevation, where it still snows. It snowed a couple days ago.
Yeah. I mean, like you know, you live, but if you go to LA or Beverly Hills or any of these expensive zip codes, or if it goes to like Cupertino, San Jose, you know, in the Bay Area and stuff like that,
Carmel.
yeah, Carmel, it'll be expensive. Monterey, you know, there's
Yeah.
definitely places that are very, very expensive for you to live, but there's also places that aren't very expensive and that you could live and have, you know, even solo if you wanted to, like studio or an apartment or a duplex up to like a full-on fledged family with a 3 or 4 or 5 bedroom house that's still affordable for, you know, at least 2 or 3 people to work and to pay bills and to get by, you know.
And it's those wealthier areas that are bringing up the average. Like when people say like, "Oh, the average home costs in Los Angeles," and it's so skewed by these like $25 million.
Houses, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And those are more like estates. Yeah, they're just like huge properties or, you know. And then when the fires were happening down south by you, like when Trump came out and says, "Yeah, we're not going to give them any money unless they change their voter laws." It's like, okay, guy,
It's insane, dude. It's
get
insane.
out of here, man. Upstate Cali, like in Humboldt County, exactly. It's like Humboldt, Mendocino. I forget what they call the Trinity up there. There's 3 counties total.
Pickles, are we boring you, dude?
Yeah, I'm just decompressing. I think I should probably get off and get some food here soon. I also I have sorry. I
Well,
have
no one's paid to
Park
kick
and
me yet, so I think I'm okay.
no, yeah. My girlfriend gave me a MacBook Pro, and I'm gonna be taking it apart and doing some stuff, cleaning it out and stuff today. I think I might do that before my meeting
nice.
tonight.
So you're probably done with lives for today, at least, right? Being that you had the
Probably I
meeting.
might do a little bit later tonight. But yeah, I have I'm gonna replace the battery and I'm gonna replace the keyboard inside of this MacBook Pro, and it's gonna be a whole project.
Is it a nightmare? I haven't opened up like Apple products in a minute. Like I still have a Mac SE or a Macintosh SE,
They're pretty
but
easy to open up and replace. Like if you're replacing the battery and stuff, that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, the battery's like glued in on this model, so it's gonna be a
Oh,
pain
glued
in the
in. Yeah,
neck. Yeah.
they have pull tabs for you at least to get the battery thing like phones do.
No, but watch this. I bought a whole kit. Hold on.
That's
Ooh.
beautiful. Yeah, little scrapers and stuff.
This is a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
magnetic like thing for the screws. And then this is a electronic precision screwdriver.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah.
Uh,
It reminds
You
me of
gotta.
like the iFixit kits or whatever that you could buy from them too.
yeah, so this is I was shopping those iFixit kits. This one was the same price as one without a
Without the driver, yeah,
yeah.
iFixit got way expensive. They used to be like the cheap place to get your parts and stuff for phones and Android devices and all that. But
And of course this
Are
was
you gonna have
probably
like?
all made in China.
Are you
exactly.
gonna have like an assistant next to you so you can be like scalpel, please?
Scalpel? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, like some of these tools, like
Yeah.
for like
Yeah, that's what I'm
scraping
saying. I
dust and
saw that.
stuff.
It looks like it.
Yeah. I love this kind of stuff though. I fucking love it. Look at this. This is my favorite. So this is a little scraper tool or a little pry tool. Bro.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. This is ironically this brand. I don't know if you guys know what this means in Spanish.
That's
but...
perfect. I love it.
Hey, we love it.
I love it. Hey, it works. No, I helped T-Mags. He still plays PUBG and stuff, and his laptop, he tried to do a BIOS update, and I guess it failed because he went through like the tool for, I think it was a Lenovo one, instead of actually going through the motherboard tool, you know?
Yeah.
So he messed up the flash on the BIOS and destroyed the chip. So he was like, "All right, chat." I was on his live on YouTube, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna try to repair this. I got this BIOS chip. I hope it's the right one." All this stuff, and he's sitting there with the hot air gun, you know, and I'm like, "Flux, put flux. What are you doing?
Oh.
Like, wait, you know." But I had to like talk him through it. I've done a bunch of electronic fixing back in the day, so I know, you know, it's one of the things I went to school for actually after high school was computer information science. So, you know, and then prior to that, I was already building computers and all that stuff. So I know that process all too well.
I know nothing about that.
Miss Nani, thank you so much for the subscription. Guys, I'm 4 subs away from meeting my subscription goal. But I am going to be getting off here soon. I'm probably going to do another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here, and that'll give me an hour to tinker with my laptop before
All
the
right.
meeting.
If we can get 4 subs in the next minute, then I will show the screen of the movie I'm working on right now.
Shit.
It's a scary movie.
Oh shit.
Sue, I tried to look that up actually. I didn't see any live data of what was going on.
Come on, subs. Let's go. There's almost 500 people. We can get 4 more subs. I will turn on my camera and show this creepy grandma demon.
But
Any subs coming in?
Canadian election. That was today, right?
Yeah, it's going on today. The polls haven't closed yet. I looked it up. There's like 6 different time codes or something like that. So, but I was talking to Robert last night in the Discord in a call with Argent, you know, and I asked him about that actually, and he asked him specifically like, "Hey, how's the election now that Trump was trying to do all this stuff?" And he says, "Oh man, he's been the greatest thing for the left party, you know, because nobody wants to be in Canada, the 51st state. So it just completely shut down Pierre."
I saw 1 sub come in. How we doing? Where do I see that?
It'll show on the stars right now. It says
Oh my god,
GGs.
babe, thank you so much. Laney, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you.
Did we meet it? Did we get there?
Yeah, we did.
Achieved. Yep.
Let's go.
Boom.
All right, guys.
Oh, nobody wants to see that.
I'm gonna let a few. I think these people are friendly. I'm gonna let y'all come up and say hi real quick. Oh, just kidding. They didn't come up. Oh shit. Wow.
There it is. Creepy grandma.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is this your setup? Your work setup?
This is the studio.
That is so
Got
dope.
it here.
Hold on. Let
MIDI
me make this
keyboard
big.
connected.
Hold on. Let me see this. Oh,
MIDI keyboard.
Shit.
Put all my plugins on this screen here. This is the audio interface. Main screen for the music notation, the writing, and then I put the film up on the big 4K.
Dope.
That is nice. Yeah, it's a nice setup.
We've got this the world famous bear skull cello.
I've seen this video of this. That is fucking sick.
That's a beautiful
as
thing.
used on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, the sequel.
Whoa.
And then that same guy who built that for me made me a violin out of a Pringles can, and it's actually sounds really creepy.
Wow.
And here's my little thank you from the Academy.
Wow, dude. That's insane. Do you still have your beehive violin sitting around?
The beehive lens in storage closet, but it's in that case right there.
Oh, wow.
Because like I said, my studio's up here in the mountains and I don't want bears to like smell it, but you can see.
That's fair. Wow.
What, you don't want to
I mean, I
visit
can
from
take it
Winnie the
out.
Pooh?
I do. I don't. Hold on. Do you want? Should I pull it out? Should I pull the beehive in out?
Let's see it.
It's easy to put back
Okay,
together.
Kristen, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Holy
Kristen.
cow. Yeah, bust it out, bro, bust it out.
We're busting out the beehive in.
Oh shit, chat.
The
Guys,
famous beehive in.
This is a Pickles exclusive. Look at the beehive violin from Andrew Scott Bell.
Put it on the floor. Every studio needs a red. Kristen knows. Turn on the big lights here.
Yo.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
There she is.
That is insane.
Real beehive. On my TikTok, you can see when we took the frame out of the beehive, because every beehive has like 10 wooden frames like this where they make their hive.
Right.
And when we took it out, before he put it back together, before he put the neck on and stuff, we opened it up and there's beehive all up in here. You know that clip of the woman who's making mac and cheese and she's like, "There's cheese all up in this bitch."
Yeah. There's hive all up in this. Yeah.
There's beehive all up in this bitch.
That's awesome.
Maybe kind of see inside the. I don't know if I had my flash on, you could see, but it's full of honeycomb. There you go.
That's fucking dope, dude. That is so cool.
That was played on the first and so it was played on both of those movies.
Damn, look at that. Is that a harp?
Yeah, hold on. Let me put this away and then I'll show you.
Hey, Tic Tac, that was so good when you came up earlier and showed him Bukele's little thing.
This is the inside of an upright piano.
Oh, whoa.
So normally it would be on its side.
Yeah.
And the keys would be right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hammer the strings. Yeah. But I found it in Glendale on the sidewalk, like somebody just threw it away. So I put wheels on it. And you can play it like this. You can just do.
Oh my god, am I really doing this? Oh, just kidding.
Or you can do, what my favorite thing to do is kind of like palm. If you play guitar, you can like palm mute the strings like this and flick them.
All I hear is chirps, birds chirping in Sebastian's microphone.
I know, my bad.
I think sometimes my AirPod like mutes out music sounds.
Yeah, they're really good at only consolidating your voice.
Voice only, yeah. The voice isolation on Apple stuff is really good, man. I don't think I have mine turned on, and that's why you hear all the birds outside. But you know, I got 4 cypress trees outside, and then my neighbor across the street has 4 cypress trees, and I can't tell you how many birds live in those trees. I can just tell you that it's a plethora of them.
I'm gonna take my headphones off.
I feel like I'm at Meow Wolf.
All right, here we go. So normally, you can just play it do creepy horror glissandos like this. But you can also hammer
You can use like a mallet and play.
Damn, that's creepy as hell.
I was gonna say it still sounds creepy.
It's definitely for horror movies. And then I like these little screws that used to hold the rest of the piano together.
Wow.
But my all-time favorite thing to do on this thing, I do it a lot. Let me know if you can still kind of see the strings. Maybe if I do that, is you can kind of palm mute the string, like put your palm here on the bridge, like where the strings connect. Like on a guitar, you can palm mute.
Right.
Mute the strings with your palm and then flick them like this.
Yeah, get a nice sharp tone to it.
Yeah, what a badass job. Imagine being able to write music for movies, for scary movies.
It's pretty spooky.
I wish I had that talent. Anything just to play instruments and stuff like that. I've tried so many times. Like when I was a kid to try to learn to play piano. I just don't got it. You know.
A violin bow. Let's try. It's kind of tough because the strings are so flat. Hold on, let me put my phone down for a second. All right, let me try. I can maybe do the bottom one here. It's hard to get the right angle. But that made me think on this movie, I'm doing stuff with these that are called Super Bowl mallets. It's literally just a rubber ball on a plastic stick. And so you can use Super Bowls, like you can obviously play a drum with a Super Bowl mallet. Like I have this other one.
Really
you
bouncy
could like play
doubles and
timpani
triples.
with.
Yeah.
But you can also use them to cause friction on like a gong or a cymbal. And check this shit out. I've been using this on the movie.
What the hell?
That's creepy.
Whoa.
And then if you record that big one and then you use the small one, they actually create different pitches.
Sounds like a whale.
Whoa.
Pretty cool.
That's insane.
It's a fun gig. I'll never complain.
Damn, that's dope. I love your studio. It's way dope.
Thank you. I need to put carpet on the floors, but
gotta have the Marshall amps. I just saw 2 of them.
Yeah, this is the Marshall Origin amp, which is a great little tube combo.
Yeah.
And then I just have the cab. Because when I record guitars, I put the cab, I empty out my closet, and I stick the cab in here to be a little ISO booth.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you got the foam to absorb the reflections and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize and that don't deal with sound like you do that the vacuum tubes is still the cleanest audio because you don't have any sort of interference that you get through, you know.
Yeah, it's a great little combo amp too. It makes a lot of sound.
Yeah, a buddy of mine did audiophile stuff like high-end home theater systems for big houses out here, and I worked with him and his boss for I don't know, I want to say like 8 months or a year or something like that as a temporary gig. Absolutely loved it, man. Going into houses and building like full-on home theaters.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. Soundproofing for theaters and stuff.
Soundproofing for theaters. It was like, again, like your isolation foam. And I think Linus Tech Tips is the guy that did the booth, right? He got all that foam and built a booth to do a zero sound.
Yeah. The craziest studio I've ever been in was probably the closest I've ever gotten to zero sound, but I could hear, like, it felt like I could hear the blood and my heartbeat.
Right. Yeah, you hear your internal stuff. I think that was the same thing that he was experiencing, or in the sound deprivation booth that he had made, was you basically hear your internal organs vibrating.
Hey guys,
That studio had actually, the way they soundproof those like recording rooms, where they had very like deep walls, and they filled the walls with sand, like this kind of sand that is like, doesn't have any, I don't know what kind of, you can't just fill it with any sand. It's got to be like specially treated sand that won't grow, have micro whatever,
Right.
But they filled the wall with sand, which is like the craziest soundproofing. You're just basically like underground, kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of dope. Hey guys.
Someone's asking.
I know they were asking you to play the Pringles can, but I'm gonna go. I gotta get off.
Another time. We gotta get more
time,
stuff
another
next
time.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Chat, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for all of the support. You guys are absolutely insane. I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for helping me hit 733 subs. It blows my mind. Thank you. We're also growing on YouTube. I'm so excited to see it pop in for the second week in a row. Seeing pretty good growth, and I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. I will see you guys either later tonight. Not. I don't know. The probability is kind of small, but if not tomorrow, definitely see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have an awesome night, chat. Much love.